The following program is for adult audiences only.
Starting now, we're breaking out, but I'm not leaving without you. This could be our one chance. We'll send a postcard when we're through. We'll get there together. We'll get there together. I'll meet you at the starting line. Don't you ever leave my side. We'll get there together. We'll get there together. If it takes all day or night, hand in hand we'll both arrive. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. You wanna see the sunrise, starry nights and endless seas. Writing our own story, let's go and make this what it's meant to be. Let's scream it out, let's go and make this what it's meant to be. We'll get there together, we'll get there together. I'll meet you at the starting line. Don't you ever leave my side. We'll get there together, we'll get there together. If it takes all day or night, hand in hand we'll both arrive. Do you feel your heartbeat? Do you feel the warmth beneath your feet? 'Cause you're standing next to me. Do you feel your heartbeat? Do you feel the warmth beneath your feet? 'Cause you're standing next to me. Yeah. 'Cause you're standing next to me. Oh, we'll get there together. We'll get there together. I'll meet you at the starting line. Don't you ever leave my side. We'll get there together. We'll get there together. If it takes all day or night, hand in hand we'll both arrive. Yeah, hand in hand we'll both arrive. Hand in hand we'll both arrive. Why do I feel so numb? Why do I feel like I do? Can't ever get enough. Every time you leave too soon. Been here before, but nothing like this. I'm so caught up, it's dangerous. I keep thinking about the things we did. We were all alone, dreaming of doing it again. Yeah. Thinking about the way we talk till the morning. Yeah, I'm wanting more. 'Cause when I see you, this water tastes like the sweetest wine. November feels like a summer night. Dark brown hair moving from side to side. Never felt so alive when I'm looking in your eyes. Where do we go from here? I think about you all the time, smiling ear to ear. When I say I'm doing fine, can't help but wonder if you're feeling so caught up. It's both of us. I keep thinking about the things we did, got it on my phone. Wanna do it all again. Yeah. Thinking about when we stayed up till the morning. Yeah, I want a little more. 'Cause when I see you, this water tastes like the sweetest wine. November feels like a summer night. Dark brown hair moving from side to side. Never felt so alive when I'm looking in your eyes.
It's time for the Mixin and Chillin blog.
Even if they implemented some ridiculous laws, this is something that if somebody truly wants to do this, they can still do it. But it's going to take a lot of effort on the vapors' part to actually learn what it takes to make your own stuff. I don't know what the heck happened to the last hour of my life, but it certainly wasn't streamed on YouTube like I thought it was. Restrictive policies block progress towards smoke-free world. Many people incorrectly think that very little nicotine content cigarettes are less carcinogenic than current cigarettes. This risk misperception by people who smoke could reduce motivation to quit under a nicotine reduction policy.
That's a bit of a problem.
Someone who specialises in helping people kick the habit is Dr. Colin Mendelsohn. He joins me now.
Look, vaping is a far less harmful alternative to smoking for adult smokers who just can't quit, and that's actually the majority of them.
The road to quitting smoking is paved with candy. Double chocolate clear from TFA. Published in the Vaping Post, we have long-term study. Vaping increases odds of quitting heavy smoking. This is Kenny Thompson, the Vaping Heed. He's got a YouTube channel. He's been on here a lot longer than I have. I'm not going to stop until this is legal and available for everyone. You know, I cover things from all around the globe, but that's because science has no boundaries.
I mean, you know, the FDA and everything would know that vaping is safer than smoking, but they'll have the pressure off the tobacco companies or the states that are in the MnC and all that. It's just a financial thing, and unfortunately that takes precedence against everything. And
All of the things we went through. You just made my day. Just made my day. You made my day. You made my day.
Grab your juice, grab your vape. It's time to get this party started.
It's time for the Mixin and Chillin blog.
Long-term study.
vaping is safer than smoking.
Smoke-free world.
Oh, Lord. YouTube can think they can ban this.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Time for take 2 of episode 418. We're smoking bucketheads today. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. I spent all day yesterday completely redoing stuff. Had to take the drivers from NVIDIA and revert it to the studio version, which has a whole bunch of known problems with it. Because obviously the latest version of the driver crashed our stream last week. So, just out of the blue, bang, we were gone. And YouTube's like, oh, you're done sending us stuff. Okay, stream's over.
Good.
And I'm in OBS. I'm like, reconnect. There's nothing to reconnect to because everything's closed out. Have a nice day. You're done.
That's because YouTube doesn't want to see vapors like us succeed.
Yeah, so long story short, I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I'll figure it out tomorrow. No sense in getting all riled up over it. It is what it is. So, spent yesterday installing the drivers. Went through OBS and cleaned out a bunch of stuff that I didn't have, simplified some of the scenes that I had, and got rid of a bunch of stuff that I had put in there because it was creative and I planned on using it in the future, but I'm like, it's been there for like 6 months. I haven't done nothing with it. Just get rid of it. I documented it if I ever wanted to recreate it and reuse it later on. Like I got this beautiful stinger that's a cloud tunnel, and it's like traveling through this cloud like it's some wormhole or something. I says, we'll put those on when we actually use them. Makes it as simple as possible. And then I'm like, okay, well, we've got a multiple output plug-in in here. Is there an update for that? Well, there was. So I installed that. And then there's a bunch of new settings on there, like, auto start and synchronized ending, and had to get all that set up. And long story short, we're here today. I've upped the speed that we're broadcasting at. So we're going to stress the system out today. See what we can come up with. And we got Buttah Squad over here. Say hello and welcome to Buttah Squad. Awesome to have you on the show, dude.
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. Are you ready to be punched and beaten around?
Yes. I've been punched and beaten around by
the head.
That's been done by the infamous Vaping Fagan and Raw Chuck.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you here. Everybody give him a round of applause.
Well, thank you.
And in the description of the video, we do have his channel link, so feel free to go give him a click over there, give him a follow. He just hit 100 subs, so congratulations on that. Now we need to get him to 4,000 watch hours, so he's going to have to make some more content and upload that so that he can get monetized for being on YouTube.
Yes.
Because,
don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to click that subscribe button, turn on post notifications too.
Yeah, because, YouTube's going to turn it off for you later on anyway, because they don't think you need to watch them. That just means we got to work twice as hard to put up good content. We got to make sure our audio's right, our video's right. We got to always have a new and exciting idea to put in front of people and go, hey, check this shit out. This is awesome. Like, He asked me a question when he got on the webcam today. He's like, hey, man, I got this Aromamizer, and I just can't seem to get it apart. I'm like, oh, cool, I got a bunch of them. Here, we're going to do that today on the Retro Vape. Besides the Ironfist that we have that we didn't get to do on Tuesday, we're going to do that today. We're going to do the Ironfist mod, and that's with our lovely bulk RTA. Ooh. We get done getting that all set up, then we're going to do the Steamcrave Aromamizer. I got the V3 here. I've never actually done anything with. I got the V2. I did a video on comparing that long time ago. But we're going to tear it apart so Buttah Squad can see how his is supposed to come apart and get some ideas on how to free it up.
I got my bulks laying around somewhere. I have to find it.
No worries. No worries. But at least once you've seen it, it becomes easier for you to understand, what it is that you got to get to work, and you can actually take a pair of channel locks to it and put a piece of rubber on there to keep it from getting marred up and get the thing to break open and break free, because you put these things away and you don't clean them properly, you get a little e-juice in there and that dries, you won't ever get that top cap off.
You
might have to throw it in you might have to throw it like on a pot of boiling water on the stove and heat the thing up so that it like dissolves all that stuff. And then turn the thing off, let it completely cool. Try to opening it up. If it doesn't work, throw it in the freezer. Try and open it up.
That's what I had to do with my Alexa 6RB, because it comes with two tanks. The dot tank for like dot mods and the burrow tank for like the billet box. The sliding glass on the burrow tank for the billet box wasn't able to open. Slapped down in the freezer for like 2 hours, took it out, still not opening.
Didn't work. What the hell? You're supposed to be Kenny, not Kenny, and I flipped you and you didn't flip. Oh, that's right, because you don't have the... Oh, dude, that sucks. You can get zapped, but you can't flip because I don't have those filters on your feed inside of the... Oh, well. I'll shed a tear and we'll move on.
Oh, Lord.
But you can get zapped, so that's all that matters.
Yes.
If you fall asleep, they can zap you.
Just the week.
So I want to say hello and welcome to everybody that's dropping in here. We don't normally stream on Thursday on this channel, but you know, when NVIDIA screwed us and YouTube closed everything out, I figured, okay, well, let's fix this stuff and then make sure that everything works. So we had to do a test stream, and I'm like, well, there's no point in doing a test stream without doing a real stream, because the problem didn't happen right away. It happened 4 hours into the stream, so that's how long we're going to be streaming today. We're going to do the same thing we normally do. We're just going to do a little bit quicker so we can get to the stuff at the end. Because we didn't even finish our dad jokes. We only got about halfway through the dad jokes.
Dad jokes are the best.
Only because you guys all submit them. Hardly ever do I need to add stuff to them nowadays.
Well, Mallory does a fantastic job at sending in a whole bunch of dad jokes.
Sure does. And you can join the Discord server and see them ahead of time if you're interested in it, or you can contribute to them. This is a value for value proposition. There's no commercials on this show, because if you find any value in this, well, then you can do it with time or talent, or if you really want, you can send us some money. You can do a super chat or a super thanks on the replay. And, help fund our activities to get more and more amazing stuff in front of you guys, like all these retro vapes that we cover week after week.
Yes,
but hello and welcome to Alex and J Money Landshark and Tammy Whitney and Mitchell Smith, Making Memories, Neil Pitts, Al Ben, Freeride Vapor, Mallory Gates, Ron Jeremy, Robert Lawyer, and our special guest himself, Buttah Squad.
Also, Cheryl Demers just came into chat too.
Yeah, Cheryl Demers, hello and welcome. Printed and I didn't even see it. See, I created all these things because, with my Alzheimer's brain, I forget what happened 10 seconds ago. So it's like, oh, there's paper in the printer. Let me grab that, see who that is.
Yep.
And, we put the little pop-ups on there because I don't ever want to miss anybody that drops in. What? Me doing dad jokes? That's just me. You can't tell if I'm actually being sarcastic or if I legit mean it. I might be insulting you for real. You don't even know because you think it's a joke. Matthew Schneider Films, hello and welcome.
Yes.
So we're shitting on NVIDIA today since they shit on our stream and cut it off early last week. But knock on wood, we seem to be working okay today. So I guess I should, find out a little bit more about you since I've never actually talked to you before in person. I've been on your show and, had conversations. But so tell me your quit smoking story. I'm assuming you smoked before you vaped.
Yes, I did smoke for at least a year to 2 years, my high school life and everything. And by the time I went to graduate.
How old were you when you started smoking?
17, 18. And then I quit once around like soon after my 18th birthday and everything. And after that, I tried vaping once on Zero Nic, didn't work. And quit that cold turkey. That was a hard road to do, but I did it. Then back in 2021, like on my birthday, I started vaping again. I started vaping on the Joel, and from that point till now, I've still been vaping since.
Cool. What's your favorite liquid? What's your favorite flavor?
So, I'm a moderator for Stevie Marquez and his group on Facebook. This is my new flavor, the vanilla cheesecake.
Nice.
That's my all-time favorite flavor, but my normal go-to by him is a flavor called Vultures. It's a banana pudding.
Ooh, banana pudding is fantastic.
In fact, I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, I posted a picture of the bottle of the Vultures in my hand check.
Maybe that's what the flavor we're going to have to try and find today when we do our random recipe mixing.
Yes.
That would be awesome, dude.
Yeah, but today...
I love banana.
But today, I'm vaping on a flavor that Miss Cheryl Demers and I had received from Six Pack Kid. It's by Pirates Mutiny. Silver Creek Reserve. This one is a bourbon barrel aged vanilla custard.
Fagan's really, really happy to see you today.
Yes, he is.
Dylan's on the show? Oh, there goes this channel. Unsubscribe. Listen, we got to inspire the youngins to put content out there because, man, let's be honest, we ain't going to be here forever.
That's true.
We're not spring chickens anymore. What's his excuse? He needs to get more content. Hammer the kid.
According to the famous Vaping Faking himself there, Hunky, he thinks he is a spring chicken.
I don't want to hear about what he does on his off hours when the lights are out.
I wasn't talking about that. I wasn't talking about that.
Let's be real.
He thinks he's still
We're
young.
R-rated, not X-rated on this show.
You got a point there.
All right, so hello and welcome, Mark. Wonderful to have you here.
Yes.
We're going to go through our normal thing today. We're just going to do a little bit faster, so I guess it's time to roll the news bumper and find out what happened since Tuesday. News, Science, and Advocacy Now begins with Rex Jones. Keep vape products in Alabama's convenience stores. None of this malarkey about only allowing FDA-authorized products because, well, they're too busy suing the shit out of each other, so even those products that are authorized and actually work and you might actually enjoy, guess what? They're not going to be in the stores anymore because this is tied up in a patent war. The Enjoy Ace pod is tied up in a patent war, and under international customs laws, not allowed to be imported into the United States anymore until they settle this patent lawsuit. So out of the 23 authorized Enjoy products, not just Enjoy, you have this Spitback Lovely Joy machine by Japan Tobacco. It's junk. It's not being sold anywhere that I've seen around here because it's junk. Nobody buys them. So all you got left with is the Views Vibe and the Views Cicero. Those are the only two options that are FDA authorized that are still available for sale in this country. And
I know
you got the Jewel.
Yeah, you got the
that's
Jewel.
technically not allowed.
I know you got the Vigos Alto as well, which is similar to the Jewel.
The Cicero.
I know they're selling. Yep, they got
this one. When I first bought this thing, this was a blueberry flavored pod, and then they decided to get rid of all their flavors, and all you got is tobacco.
Yeah,
you only allowed tobacco.
Tobacco, it's garbage.
Ugh, no, thank you. But here we go. Beautiful piece came out. Alabama lawmakers are considering a sweeping proposal to ban the sale of all vape products in convenience stores and restrict them to exclusively 21 and over smoke shops. Darren D., hello and welcome. While the intent may be to reduce youth access to nicotine, this policy overreach would do more harm than good for consumers, for communities, and local economies. Convenience stores are responsible partners in public health. Bullshit. I don't agree with that. But I do see the point in their, wanting to fight for this, because I honestly cannot imagine how anybody can justify not having vape products sold every place you can buy a pack of smokes. It's stupid.
Right.
We know the science. We know that vaping is much less harmful than smoking cigarettes. So why would you prevent its sale in places where you can go and buy smokes?
Right.
If you want to restrict anything, why don't you restrict cigarette sales to, I don't know, liquor stores? They're already adult-only places. So if anybody that smokes wants a pack of smokes, they have to go to the liquor store.
I agree 100% on that. Because I know...
Remove them from the convenience stores.
Yep. But here's the thing, though, with that, though. Because they're still selling jewel pods and everything else. But I know in some gas station convenience stores, they're also selling the pouches, too.
Oh, of course they are.
And with certain convenience stores, I did notice they're charging way more money on a 4-pack of jewel pods than they are with, like, New York. New York's charging $20 a thing plus the tax. But in, like, places like New Jersey, they're charging, like, give or take $25 plus the tax just for the 4-pack.
It's crazy, dude. To answer the Sub-Ohm guy, it was the latest game driver that was released to the public. It wasn't the hotfix. The week before, we used the hotfix driver. Last week was the latest game driver that was released by NVIDIA on Monday. That's what crashed our stream. And it legit, in the middle of the stream, we were doing the dad jokes. It was the, I got a pop-up from OBS that said that the video driver legit had to completely restart. You know how like Windows Explorer messes up every once in a while and all your desktop icons refresh because it actually crashed and reloaded in the background? Well, that's what happened with the video driver last week on our stream. So I had to revert to the studio driver, which is 57602, which has a whole bunch of problems, known problems in it, like not actually like letting the fan spin up to full speed and power issues with it. The previous driver I had was the Game Ready driver 576.28. That's what crashed our stream. So we'll deal with the one that we have now as a studio version, and I mean that's going to be better for DaVinci anyway. We'll see how it goes. But it is nice to see, that there are other people in this game to try and hold on to vaping out in the public. And then obviously you got a bunch of disinterested people, like the guy that's in the corner shop next to me. He sells smokes, he sells cigarettes, but he also sells all kinds of disposable vapes. You walk in, the back wall where behind the cash register is all cigarette stuff. The side wall is all vapes from floor to ceiling, all disposable vapes. Have no clue where he gets them from. Don't really care. All I know is when smokers walk in and they see the vapes there, they see somebody that doesn't smoke or vape and he stocks it in his store. They're like, dude, what is that? He's like, you ever wanted to quit smoking? He's like, yeah, nothing ever worked. Well, give this a try. Have you tried this yet? That spur of the moment decision when you go out to buy a pack of smokes.
Yeah, but I've seen that too. There's a store near my high school. They do the same thing. They don't smoke. They don't vape. But they sell all vape stuff and cigarettes in the store. They even sell loose cigarettes to people for like $1 and change. Like, you want to quit smoking? We got vapes behind all the stuff.
Yep. And he's got, dozens of people that have actually converted from smoking to vaping, and they don't buy cigarettes anymore. They originally came in, they bought a pack of smokes, they bought a vape, or they bought a special. It was, 2 for a special price. Because one vape in the store is like $40, but you can get like 2 for $50, 3 for $60. So when somebody buys 3 of them, they're like, if I'm going to spend, that, I might as well spend $60 and get 3 of them. You do the math in your head, and it's like, That's 20 a piece. That's half price what you were going to send me just one. So they walk out of there with 3 vapes. If they like the flavor, they're going to use it.
Oh, yeah.
And if they like the flavor better than they like their cigarette flavor, then they're going to completely switch. And next thing you know, they're not buying smokes, week after week, because that $60 that they spent lasted them 2 weeks instead of just, a carton of cigarettes lasting you 1 week.
Oh, yeah.
So they're saving money right off the bat.
I know my father used to get like a whole 1 to 2 cartons every time we went to Jersey and everything. And that lasted him like a good month, 2-3 months offhand.
Yeah, my wife and I on payday, we used to go and buy, 2 or 4 cartons of smokes to get us through until next payday.
Yeah, but my father's kind of happy I got him to quit smoking.
Definitely. Much better for his health. Well, here you go. Another story for us. The new era in vaping? What do you mean? Growing health awareness leads to a rise in nicotine-free vapes. Have you tried a nicotine-free vape?
Yeah, I have. I had no enjoyment from it whatsoever.
No, because you need the nicotine. That's the reason why you started smoking in the first place.
Yep.
So if you're using it to quit smoking, you got to have the nicotine in it. Now, there are people, and especially lately, I've heard stories, lots of them on social media, where people talk about how, even DIY mixers, they got into it, have thousands of flavors on their own. They're vaping now? They're vaping flavorless e-liquid that they make themselves. Just VG, PG, and nicotine. Your microphone drop out, dude? You disappeared. What's going on? Your internet's dropping down. Bandwidth is low. So anyway, in a landscape of long dominated by debates over nicotine's risks and benefits, a quieter but significant shift is taking place. An increasing number of vapers are choosing to go nicotine-free. Recent data from Vape Superstore highlighted a 46% surge in sales of 10-milliliter nicotine-free e-liquids over the past 6 months, alongside a 75% spike in online searches for top nicotine-free vape brands in the past 3 months. This isn't a fringe trend. It's clear signal that consumer behavior is evolving, especially in places where vaping has been banned.
Oof.
We talked about that.
Yeah,
Last week?
I think so.
You can snitch on your friends. Take a picture of them with an app and, bust them for vaping. And then when they get fined, you get 60% of the fine for turning them in.
I know they even have those disposables. I know David Fagan I think, reviewed one. They have one where you can connect your phone to it, and they have an iPhone 15 vape case.
Yep. It's back there somewhere. I bought a nicotine-free disposable from a vape shop when I stopped at Brick City Vapors in North Olmsted, Ohio. And never got around to opening it up and reviewing it.
They even have a flavorless disposable, from Elf Bar.
Yep. I was shocked because for the longest time I believed, well, who the heck would make a truly flavorless vape? And there are products out on the marketplace. Yes, they're not popular. Yes, you got to really look for them. But they do have flavorless and nicotine-free vaping products that aren't cannabis or CBD or any of that other stuff. It was a nicotine vape without nicotine. It's a real thing. And it kind of makes sense if you wanted to quit vaping, you'd buy one that was nicotine-free and you would use that. And then when it got to the point where, you needed your nic, you'd swap to the other one, take a 2 to that, and go about your day.
Now I'm seeing on social media, like Instagram and things like that, they have a disposable where it's like one flavor on one side, a flavor on another side. All you have to do is grab the drip tip, pull up, and turn the top around and just vape it that way. But I don't know if they have a flavorless disposable like that.
There are companies out there that do that, and I'm going to actually get this one. I'm going to dig it out behind. It fell behind my shelf. I'm going to get that one out. I'm going to do a review on it. Nicotine-free disposable vape.
Oof.
Just vaping for the flavor.
Yes.
It's a possibility. It's not very common, but, you know, to each their own. That's the way I look at it. Next, we're going to go, because we got a Caribbean cruise coming up in January. The wife and I are going on. So I was like really interested when I saw this one. Nassau shop sold flavored vapes. Man arrested by the police. Officer seized an assortment of flavored vape products packaged for purchase, police say. You don't say. Why would they be available for sale? Maybe because people want to fucking buy them?
To help quit smoking?
Muhammad Mazhar, 27 of Jamaica, Queens, who manages Grand Kratom Smoke Shop in Garden City South, was arrested on Tuesday in connection with the sale of flavored vapes, Nassau police said. Garden City South, New York. Oh, I thought this was Nassau, Bahamas. This is New York.
Oh,
you know, New York wants to have their cigarette death money. They have a city tax of $1 something per pack for smokes in New York.
Oh, Jesus. And
you want to know why it costs $13, $14 for a pack of smokes in New York?
Nowadays, over in Staten Island, it's like $17, $18.
Yeah, well, that's why. You've got federal tax, you got state tax, you have county tax, and you have a city tax. And the city tax is over $1 a pack in New York, New York.
Oof.
They have some bonds that have to be paid back, and it's not good for them and their tax coffers when people quit smoking, because there goes their cash flow. J.G. Wentworth once repaid for the money that they got to do who knows what with. Maybe replace their subway train or something. I don't know. Buy some new buses.
It's my money and I need it now.
Yeah, they jumped on the opportunity when the MSA payments came out. So they took out a bunch of bonds to, you know, fill their tax coffers with the fresh fusion of cash. And now they got to pay all these bonds back. And it's like, we ain't got enough money to come in to cover this. We're going to be bankrupt. We're not allowed to be bankrupt. Well, the store manager, Muhammad Mazhar, 27 of Jamaica, Queens, was charged with a violation for the sale of age-restricted products and sale of flavored products that are prohibited. Bummer. He's issued a desk appearance ticket returnable to First District Court on May 29th.
And I know that where that part of New York is, too.
I only went to New York one time, went through the place, never actually, stopped and did anything. We were taking an ambulance patient somewhere for his final rest to be home with family. Paid $5 toll to cross a bridge. Thought that was ridiculous. I think it was a George Washington Bridge or something. I don't remember what it's called. Kurdistan. Are we ready? Verify that you're a human. Well, that can be questionable. But I can click it for you. Iraq moves to ban e-cigarettes amid alarming rise in youth use. Man, they just keep beating the same old drum.
Oh, yeah.
Every 5 Iraqis, 1 is a smoker. Okay, so why are you banning the vape? Are you stupid or something? Damn, boy. Iraqi's Minister of Health has announced plans to implement a nationwide ban on the import, sale, and circulation of electronic cigarettes, citing growing health concerns, more like growing stupidity of the Ministry of Health, and distribute a disturbing increase in the amount of youth that are using it, including children and young girls. Hey, man, what do you got against girls?
Right.
They grow up to be mothers. Bad. Bad. Shit's going bad all over the world. That's all I got for you, dude.
Oof.
I guess we're going to have to go over to Twitter and see what kind of shit I saved over there for the show. What do we got? Bookmarks, show. Sometimes one true vape warrior here. I love this one. Sometimes I just go in my truck and go for a ride, with some tunes and my vape. It's the best nights sometimes.
Yep.
Right on, dude. Congratulations. And then we got this bullshit coming from UK. You're not from the UK, dude, so this isn't quite as appealing to you, but we got some schmuck over there that was obviously got a nice check from Bloomberg Blocks.
They can't do their work. What is happening to our children and their health and their lungs, which means that vaping is causing these very dangerous reactions?
So I first became aware of this in 2016 when I treated a young person related to very severe vaping-related lung injury. And very rapidly, it required increasing levels of breathing support, ending up with...
Am I doing it wrong? Are you doing it wrong? You have any lung injuries?
Nope.
I've been doing this over 5 years, coming on 6 years now. How long you been vaping?
4 going on 5.
Are we doing it wrong? Where's our lung injury we were promised? Or is this guy lying?
That's lying through his teeth.
I think he's lying. So where's our sound effect? We got to have somebody type in LIAR.
You're a liar! You know something that you're not telling us, you slimy scumbag liar!
Yes!
An artificial lung to survive. And that's...
An artificial lung? Did you save up for your artificial lung because vaping was going to give you bad lung?
No, I didn't.
Well...
Been published internationally as well, a case series where 14 people required that form of support. So in some people, vaping causes such an intense inflammatory response in the lungs, like so much soreness in the lungs, that the lungs...
what causes that inflammatory reaction in the lungs for some people? Can you tell me? I bet you don't know enough to tell me what could possibly, realistically, actually give somebody a reaction like that. To me, it sounds like an allergic reaction, but what the hell I know? I'm just a retired paramedic. I'm not a doctor. Okay? So, to me, it sounds like somebody could, let's say they were allergic to nickel. Were you were sensitive to nickel? Okay, well, then the coil that's being used in it could cause an allergic reaction in somebody's lung if they didn't know. I think Jay Hayes is allergic to them. He used to bitch all the time about the coils.
That's why he only vapes on Canthal, I think.
Yeah. Or, you know what? I'd be willing to bet. I don't know for a fact because I don't have, a fancy metal analyzer. I have torn apart my fair share of disposables. And every single one of the coils that are inside this thing are mesh coils. And every single one of them are shiny as hell. That kind of leads me to believe there's stainless steel mesh inside these things. So that's not going to cause that kind of reaction. I suppose you could be allergic to a certain flavoring compound, but you'd get the same reaction if you chewed bubble gum.
Yep.
Doesn't it suck when somebody knows their shit and actually has, fundamental logic that can pick apart these assholes that do nothing but lie through their teeth?
Oh, yeah.
they can't do their work.
And that's the thing with like some family too. They'll sit there and say, "Oh, vaping is affecting your brain. Oh, this. Oh, that." This is the same thing what you and I were talking about when we did one of my streams. It's like oh well, this, that, third. It's like anything you put in your body is bad for you.
I got to switch your logo. Sorry, dude.
It's all good.
There's your logo. Okay. We're good to go now.
Nice.
I missed that one. This guy's a liar.
More than cigarettes.
Well, I've been practicing pediatric respiratory medicine for over 25 years. I have never ever seen a child or a young person with similar side effects related to smoking. I might have missed it, but I've never seen it.
What is it particularly about the vape?
Wait a minute. He's okay with people smoking cigarettes? Children smoking cigarettes? I've never seen this problem with, cigarettes. It's only the vape we got to ban. What?
That's how you know he's definitely full of shit.
Yeah.
Which is causing these problems?
So all the constituents in the vape are harmful to the lungs. You know, lungs are
Oh,
meant to breathe.
liar! You definitely don't know shit. Guess what is in your asthma medication that you give to your pediatric patients? You don't know? What, are you stupid or something? Propylene glycol is used inside the albuterol medication that you nebulize and have your pediatric patients inhale. How do I know? Because I gave that to pediatric patients that had asthma. And one of the ingredients on the little leaflet inside of the albuterol packet, when you open it up, the ingredients listed there, propylene glycol, exact same thing that goes into your vape liquid. And, well, I DJ'd plenty of high school and elementary school parties, and they had my fog machine there, which is just vegetable glycerin, atomized and blown into the room. You didn't have a problem with that because that doesn't harm their lungs, right? So where's the harm, dude?
Some of these people don't think, and that's their issue. They don't think. They think they know it all. They
don't know shit.
And that's the thing. They're getting all these false narratives. And I know, and you mentioned Jay Hayes before. You know, he even did this one video on a Rutgers student saying, "Oh, well, we're studying all vapes and everything." The dumb retard never put any liquid inside the atomizer to test it out.
So he legit burned the cotton.
The female student, yes, just the burning the thing and everything else. And he even had to put her in her place. Like, listen, you need to put the vape juice in it and things like that. And then she just walked off like nothing happened. And then now, everything that they were saying a few years back, like 2019, 2020, or even 2021, now they're starting to find out, oh, well, I guess vaping is helping people quit smoking and everything. I guess it really is saving people's lives.
Some old guys are 100% right. Dihydrogen monoxide is toxic.
Yep.
It's toxic. For those of you that don't know chemistry, that's water. Water's toxic. Because if you drink too much of it, you get this thing called hyponatremia. Because you have so much water inside your body that you no longer have enough nutrients in your blood to nourish your body. And you could die if you constantly drink too much water. If your kidneys can't keep up with it because they're damaged or whatever, you could die from water.
Yep.
Or you could take this guy and just throw him into a pool and hold his head underneath water, and then it's definitely toxic because he can't breathe water.
Breathing clean air, not less toxic air than something else.
Is your air in your city clean, dude?
Yep.
Huh? Not the buses around here, man. The black stuff coming out of there is the same black stuff that starts every time we started the fire truck. That black soot, when the first diesel engine first starts up, it coated the walls of the firehouse. I legit had to spend numerous times, multiple weekends down there with gallons of Windex to wash the soot off the wall. We breathe that in every time you start the truck up. Every time you have a bus drive down the road and you see those big black plumes of smoke. Is that clean air?
Other than that would be no.
No. Now, let's do a scientific study because nobody's done it yet because, well, it goes against their narrative. let's study the air that people breathe in at a bus stop, and let's study the air that's used when you breathe through a disposable. Which is going to be more damaging and more toxic? I'd be willing to bet it's the bus stop.
Yeah, I was just about to say the bus stop.
So we're going to ban public transportation? Ban diesel engines? What are we doing next, huh? Oh, you don't want to do any of that? Because, you know, it goes against your narrative? That's not what you were paid to badmouth about.
And so even things like the humectants in the vaping liquid, which are there to keep the moisture in, they may be okay too.
He's talking about vegetable glycerin.
Oof.
The fog that we use in the school dances?
Right.
To inhale, so substances which are generally regarded as safe to ingest are okay to eat, but not to inhale.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about the VG that you have in your ice cream.
Yep.
And if you think I'm full of shit, go to the grocery store. Next time you're in the grocery store, look at the ice cream and look at the ingredients on there. You're going to see glycerin is listed one of the ingredients in your ice cream.
It's the same thing with all the other stuff that's also dairy related too. Half the majority of the stuff that's on the shelves, like I think potato chips, has VG in it as well.
Yeah.
I think
and you can go to the pharmacy in that same grocery store, and you can buy a bottle of VG, and it's wonderful on your hands.
And I think in a bottle of soda, it also has the PG in that too.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know why they would put it in there.
In fact, I have a bottle.
PG is also used as antifreeze. You'll hear that plenty of times. But you know what? It's not the same antifreeze that we had when we were growing up as kids. You know, the Prestone antifreeze you put in your car? And, well, the problem is that would leak out, and then your pets, your dogs and your cats would lick that, and then they would die because it's ethylene glycol. But that's not what's in our vape. Our vape is propylene glycol. And it's also the same thing that's used in RVs to winterize your drains. When you go to the store in the wintertime because you want to winterize your RV, you buy a big gallon of pink liquid that you dump down your drains to keep it from freezing. That's straight up dyed propylene glycol. That's all it is. I want to know why that only costs like $5. Meanwhile, when we go to buy PG to make our e-liquids, we got to pay $30 a gallon for it.
Yep.
Actually, I think it boils down to the fact that when you're buying it for your drain, it's not straight up 100% PG. It's like 50-50.
Yeah.
Because all they're doing is using it as an antifreeze.
No, yeah.
But this guy obviously doesn't know what he's talking about. We're way off the side rails now.
So I think those substances, including nicotine, including the flavorings, one of the flavorings, for example, diacetyl, was responsible for this condition.
Oh, diacetyl! Okay. Is diacetyl inside cigarette smoke? What? Yes? Okay, how much of it is inside of a vape? Back when they actually had it in commercial e-liquids, when it was like to the max and you bought all the e-liquids and they were this color because they're full of diacetyl. Did somebody test that in a lab? Oh, yes, they did?
Did.
How much, well, first off, what had more diacetyl, a cigarette or a vape?
Cigarettes.
Oh, it was the cigarette. You know how much more? 750 times more in a cigarette than they ever had inside of a vape. And even the really bad ones, let's say that you crank the diacetyl in your flavoring because it was a beautiful buttery custard, right?
Yep.
It's still 400 times more inside of a cigarette than it ever was in a vape.
Yep.
Condition called popcorn lung. It gives a butter.
Popcorn lung?
Here we go with the popcorn lung.
To my knowledge, there's only 8 people that have ever had diagnosis of popcorn lung, and all of them worked in a microwave popcorn factory where they bag up the microwave popcorn and they spray the seeds, and the aerosol didn't have a ventilation system. So when they sprayed the buttery diacetyl onto the popcorn kernels, the corn kernels, they were breathing that shit in. And 8 of them got sick. They shut the plant down, and OSHA came in And OSHA tested the air and said, well, that's what made them sick. It was popcorn lung caused by the diacetyl, and that's how it got its name. But nobody that vapes has ever come down with popcorn lung. Zero.
I haven't had issues with that.
Zero. But he's not going to tell you that because that goes against his narrative.
It's really flavor to popcorn, and those workers in the popcorn factory had severe permanent lung damage due to inhaling diacetyl.
Right, because oil and water do not mix. You were saying?
You just mentioned that too, with the popcorn factory where people got sick and everything else like that. God,
yeah, but he only tells you half the story. Then he conflates it with vaping and says that it's in vape. And first off, none of the commercial manufacturers in the UK or in Europe are allowed to put diacetyl inside their e-liquid. And some of the flavoring compounds, when they break down, do turn into diacetyl.
Right.
They're tested to make sure that they are below a certain level because of this magic scare of popcorn lung that didn't actually affect any vapor ever.
You know, all
so there are many constituents that we know of in the liquids that cause lung damage.
And the advice which we were hearing...
Liar.
You know, all these guys like this gentleman right here that are painting a false narrative for vaping. It gets annoying after, you know, a certain point.
It does.
It's like, okay, at this point we get your narrative, but you also need to hear, you know, our side of things.
He doesn't care about our side of things. He doesn't care about the 8 million people a year that are going to die because they're going to continue to smoke cigarettes.
And that's the thing, the whole FDA big tobacco, they don't care about it. And I've come to the conclusion, all they want to do is just get their money from all the cigarette sales. That's just all it is.
They need to start telling the truth is what they need to do. And I have to laugh because lately on Twitter, a lot of people have been talking about, and they have a lot of hope for Casey Means being the new Surgeon General for the United States. And they're like, oh, man, does anybody know anything about her? I'm like, did you read her fucking book? Did any of you assholes out there read her book? You only need to get about 7 pages into it to learn what she thinks about vaping.
Dude, they already put like 3 statues of Letitia James in freaking New York.
I'm going to get my book out, and next week's episode of the vlog, I'll read the section where she talks about vaping. Now, I do think she's a good person. She's an honest person. She's going to follow the science, and if somebody hands her science and shows her that she's wrong, she's going to, you know, take the right position on the situation. But what she currently knows about vaping is bupkis.
Right.
Nothing. Only what she's heard.
And I completely 100% agree with you on that.
She doesn't know about it. But then again, she hasn't had to treat anybody. You know, she wasn't a smoker. She was eye, ear, and nose person. Went into surgery and then ended up, you have to go watch her show. Tucker Carlson does a wonderful interview with her and her brother when they released the book. So go watch it. Well worth your time.
The medical experts, even the chief medical officer 10 years ago, was that for adults, if you are a heavy smoker, vaping is better. You should shift to vaping. So I think lots of us, and parents too, maybe even teachers, got this in their minds that, well, compared to smoking, you know, vaping is.
What do you think what's his rebuttal going to be to this? Can you guess?
They're just going to try to sit there and say, it's not. It's going to do all this damage and things like that.
No, because he knows that they'll be called out too quickly.
No, yeah, that's another thing, too. They're going to get mad that they're going to get called out.
Yeah, he's going to play stupid. Well, I don't know anything about adults. I only know about, you know, children. What? Do children have different anatomical structures than adults do?
But you know what it is? Is the fact that they're leaving out, it's the weed-based vapes that are doing it. They're classifying it as every vape, like a billet box and things like that, with something like a bottle of juice like this. You know, that's saying, oh well, that's all bad. We're gonna take this off the market and things like that.
This guy's crazy. He doesn't know shit. That's the problem. Listen to what he says.
Okay. And what you're saying is, it's not only not okay, it's really bad, and for children, worse than cigarettes.
I'm a pediatrician, so I wouldn't be able to comment anything about adults who smoke and vape. But clearly, as a community, all pediatricians, all respiratory pediatricians have been extremely worried from the very beginning when this all came in. And we are seeing, lots of examples of children having immediate catastrophic lung injury, but also more symptoms in the medium term.
Yeah, okay, right. That's why you have been served with a community note, because everything you said is nothing but tainted propaganda.
Yeah, and that just proves my point with what I was mentioning before. They don't realize the fact that these kids younger than the age of 21, they're getting all these weed-based vapes that have all these different chemicals in it. They're buying it off like Amazon, eBay, and things like that. And they're getting it from all these corner stores and everything too, even off the streets. They don't know what the hell's in it. And
but that's not nicotine vaping. And he never once said there's different kinds of vaping.
Right, and because they're classifying it as one whole thing. They're not just...
And that's wrong.
And then
they're not the same shit.
I was just about to say the same thing, because of the fact that they're not saying, "Oh well, weed vapes is this. Oh, nicotine vapes is this." They're all classifying it as one whole unit and saying, "Oh well, weed vapes is just nicotine vapes." That's why so many of these kids went to the hospital the way they did, because of the simple fact that they're getting all these different cartridges and things like that off the streets and things like that and everything, and just vaping it, and they wonder why they're having so many lung issues and things like that, because of the fact that they're doing that, and then they still want to go to all these hospitals, record all these different commercials of these people with the nose tubes in and things like that, like, oh well, I had to quit vaping because of this, I had to quit vaping because of that. Well, where is the physical scientific proof that vaping did that to you? Because
what kind of vape was it? Just like I have in my slideshow. I actually put up our test stream we had earlier. I used the same slideshow I have in my desk, my DJ desk. I just put that up there with some music playing in the background just to get the information out there and let people see the facts. Every single one of the slides that are in there can be scientifically shown and demonstrated, or historically demonstrated, as being true. And you need to ask, what is in your vape? When you have a drunk driver that kills somebody, we don't blame the car.
We blame the driver.
We blame the person driving the car, because they're the one that's in control of it. When you're looking at a vape, and if a vape causes damage, what was inside that vape? It wasn't a nicotine vape.
Right. It's the same thing with somebody who, and I apologize for pulling out a knife on your channel. It's like somebody who takes a knife, stabs somebody, or a person with a gun. They sit there and pull this or a gun out, and they kill a person that way. You don't blame something like this or a gun. You sit there and blame the person.
You blame the person that pulled the trigger.
Exactly.
Well, here we go. Cancer Research UK has clearly answered the question, does vaping cause popcorn lung? E-cigarettes do not cause the lung condition known as popcorn lung. There have been no confirmed cases of popcorn lung reported in people who use e-cigarettes. E-cigarettes are an option to help people stop smoking. Very simple. Well, that one got served up with a community note. Have a nice day. What else I got? Yesterday was my 2-month anniversary of quitting nicotine after originally giving it up for Lent. Congratulations! I will never give it up. I'm at the age where, I'm allowed to make my own decisions, and I use it for the medicinal benefits of vaping. Meanwhile, have you heard about this guy? Border Force guy. Homeland Security guy smoking a cigar, and they're shitting on his parade. Dude wants to smoke a cigar, let him smoke a cigar. Isn't he an adult?
Yeah, he is.
What's the problem? Guy has a job where he doesn't know what he's going to get himself into from day one to day two, and they want to shit on his parade because he wants to light up a cigar out in the middle of the street. Nobody around him. It's crazy, dude. Well, there is some good news going around out there. We do have some people that are actually talking to the Trump administration right now and trying to get them to change their posture on it, trying to get the FDA to change the way that they look at the PMTA process, and hopefully completely gut the system and just basically do like Europe does, where they create a registry where if you want to make something, here's a list of things you're not allowed to put into your vape. No oils of any kind are allowed in a nicotine vape. These are the flavoring compounds that we know are bad, cinnamonaldehyde, blah, 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 whatever. You want to put diacetyl on there, put it on there, who cares? You want to put all the DAP in there, put all the DAP in there, whatever. We can still have some amazing vape liquids, even with those restrictions on there. But that's the only restrictions you should have.
Yep.
And then let people sell the stuff and let the market eliminate cigarette smoking. It's that simple. It's been going on for 2 decades now, and I think we should let it accelerate like it has been naturally on its own, because people learn the truth, and as soon as they learn the truth, guess what? They quit smoking.
Oh, yeah.
Job done. Move on. Go solve something else. Personally, I love DAP. I still have plenty of V1 flavors here, and I mix them up. If they're in a recipe, I mix it up, and I use it, and I vape it, and I have a great time with it, because the flavors are so much better with the DAP in it than they are without.
Right.
And let's also factor in that it's not like a pack of smokes. When you were buying smokes, you always wanted the same brand of smokes.
Yep.
When you're with vaping, every time you go in the store, you're buying a different bottle, a different brand, a different flavor of liquid. So even if you do get some DAP flavorings in your e-liquids, they're probably not going to be in the next bottle, and they probably weren't in the last bottle you vaped.
Right.
Simple.
Yeah, well, I know when I smoked, I used to get the same brand of cigarettes every single time.
I did too.
I used to get the yellow pack of American Spirits every single time.
For me, originally it was Camel. And then when Camel came out with all the coupons, remember they had the little coupons inside the packs you would send away for T-shirts and ball caps and stuff like that. And then they came out with the fat ones, the Camel Wides. Man, I love those things. And being at the firehouse, and my mentor at the firehouse was an old, area chief. He smoked a cigar, and I was going to smoke a cigar with him, especially when we went to the club and, sat down and had some whiskey or some scotch. I'd sit down and I'd smoke a cigar. And then during the day, I would smoke my cigarettes.
Yeah, I have a friend that I used to work at Amazon with. He was smoking Camels every single day. He used to get
whatever you want. You're going to be cold?
I'm taking a switch.
Okay.
No?
No, you're fine. Wife's going out. She's going to a concert tonight.
Oof. My friend used to get the menthol flavored Camels.
Buttah Squad. Oh, a bunch of people. Some of our regulars, some new people. Yeah. So, I guess it's time for a flavor explosion. Non-alcoholic beverage for me today. You got something to drink? You got a soda or something?
I do.
All right. If you got something ready, it's time to roll the bumper.
mind and get ready for the drop.
It's all you.
Oof. Yeah. So as y'all saw before, I just got Diet Pepsi to go perfectly with this vanilla custard. I'm not gonna lie, just by taking a sip of this, hit of that, I'm getting a nice ice cream float. And,
cool.
And just coffee in my thermal thing. That's for later, and that's just about it.
Cool. Well, for your entertainment today, I have a beautiful Radar O'Reilly wannabe, an orange knee-high, not a grape knee-high. I already drank the grape knee-high. Problem with the grape knee-high is the coloring that they use inside that turned everything that came out of my body for the next 48 hours purple.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm hoping that this doesn't like take everything and turn it orange. But I love orange, man. I used to love having a sun-kissed. That was my treat. The reason why you had to go first because I had to get a bottle opener because this is actually a not spin top open. So there's my beverage for today. Cheers to our health.
Yes.
Sugar and saccharin at its best.
Yes.
Or you have high fructose corn syrup if it's a real Pepsi.
Diet Pepsi.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It's
not a sun-kissed.
I used to drink those Spanish sodas. It was different because of the fact that I never tried it before.
Yeah, but you know how sun-kissed is a really, really sweet orange?
Yeah.
This one's a sweet orange too, but it's a completely different orange.
Yeah.
This is more like a tangerine flavored orange.
Right.
As opposed to like, you know, a sun-kissed.
Right.
What is the kind of orange? The navel oranges. I used to love going to Shop and Save before it closed down here. We had one in town. They used to have these South African navel oranges. I swear to God, they were this big. They were bigger than most of the grapefruits that they sold in the store.
As Neil said, it's probably a candy orange.
Jake Scrapwood, hello and welcome. Malice Black Dagger, hello and welcome. Brian Ferguson, hello and welcome. Lovekey, hello and welcome. Michelle Elliott, wonderful to have all yins here today for our Thursday edition of the Mixin and Chillin vlog, take 2.
Yes, sir.
Did we have any hand checks? I guess we're going to have to go over them because there wasn't a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I know I posted one before the show.
Yeah, I looked earlier in the day, but I didn't go back right before we went live because you and I were chatting for a good half hour, 45 minutes before the show started. So we'll start off with you and your lovely contribution. There's our beautiful setup. Go ahead and tell everybody what you got.
The Wicked Alpha inside the Stitch billet box. And when I took that picture, I had the Vulture's banana pudding like I was talking to Mr. Hunky Vapes about. And that is a banana pudding, which is, might I add, pretty good.
Awesome, dude. Darren D submitted this lovely, beautiful setup here. It looks like the Vandy Vape Pulse over here, and we've got a dead rabbit on top there. Awesome setup.
I don't know what RDTA is on top of that top side.
Or no. There's my beautiful setup.
Ooh.
Some coil porn for you. That's the Arbiter getting a fresh set of wicks in it. This is probably the 8th time that I've cleaned and dry burned these coils.
Oof.
Still look wonderful.
Yes,
no broken
do.
things in there. No hot spots. So I keep rocking it till it goes bad. Vaping a gateway to smoking? That's highly illogical.
Someone said that.
William Dobson. Here's his lovely setup.
Ooh, that is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be the new Grim Green mod, the Republic.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
That's one I don't have. But I did finally get out my Steamcrave Titan mod to support this lovely 30 millimeter Thunderhead Creations Vortex 30 RDA.
Ooh.
Cloud chucking machine.
News just in. According to Mallory Gates, we have a new Pope. Robert Prevost will be the first American Pope taking the name of Pope Leo XIV. Now back to your regularly scheduled content of Mixin and Chillin.
Not fake news. That's great. And there you go, William Dobson's lovely contribution. I need to get me one of them.
May the 4th be with you all, since it just happened.
I have like 30 of these things sprawled out around my desks.
Ooh, I still got to rewrap.
And then I've got, a VC8, an X-Star VC8 that always is full of batteries that are getting recharged.
That's what I have in front of my desk too. I just have one battery and it's just charging.
I need to get one of those for an 18650 and one of those for 21700.
I'm lucky with this one. It can charge 18650s and 21700s at the same time with no problem.
Neil Pitt says I need to get the Bonza Pro RDA for some great flavor.
Single and dual coil. So I know the blades are the same way.
I will have to look into that. Fortunately, I need to get these other videos that I've recorded and been in the process of editing, but because of driver failures and because of DaVinci Resolve's betas, I've downloaded their latest beta, and holy cow, the weekly stream when we have the intro, that normally takes like a minute and 5 seconds to render, give or take. It's only taken like 25 seconds to render now with this latest beta they got.
I had the Bearded Vape got on recently on my channel, and he just got the Bonza Pro. He loves it.
A lot of people talking about it lately. Darren D's like, I'll have to look into that. All right. I guess it's time to go to our dad jokes, and I got to figure out where we were in the whole stack of them. So this might take a minute.
No more despair. I have paid more than I owe. Now what you see is what I give you.
If a vapor's been robbed, which detectives are assigned to the case? Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. Hey man, what do you call advice from a vapor? Drip tips.
Hey, is that a mechanical mod in your pocket? Or are you just happy to see me?
Hey, don't throw your mod at people, or else it's battery.
Hey, why did a vapor cross the road? To chase them clouds.
And they told me vaping was cheaper than smoking.
Nope, I don't care. What are you talking about?
Did you hear about the guy who doesn't pay more than 1 cent per mil for juice?
Shut that baby up!
Yeah, we get it. You DIY or die. Gotcha.
What are you waiting for? Let's do this.
It's go time!
Ah! When your underwear gets stuck between your butt cheeks? Sir, they've gone up the ventilation shaft. Uh-oh. I find your lack of vape disturbing.
Luke, I am your father.
Quits for 8 years because he had bad knees and was sad. No arms, no legs, still kicked ass through all 3 movies.
That is so true.
Explain a film plot badly. Father reunites with long-lost son and wants him to take over the family biz. Join the dark side, my son.
Not happening.
Priest kidnaps child for cult and eventual marriage to politician twice his age.
Oh, Jesus.
Kinda true.
That's the story of some people's lives.
Boy runs away from home, joins gang, and then gets beat up by girl who collects trash.
Oh, Jesus. That's another story of somebody's life.
In a universe where hover vehicles are clearly the best option for travel on a desert terrain, why the fuck are the military going around on giant iguanas?
And that's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah? Logic. Even back in the 70s and 80s, it wasn't that well known. My parents warned me about pills and beer, but not about classic cars or brunettes.
Or tattoos.
Yup. You don't want to sell me those death sticks. You want to vape and rethink your life.
My life is perfect right now.
Oxygen? No. Let's swap out the helium.
Jesus.
Chewy for sale.
Who let the dogs out?
You know what happens to actors after the movies have died off?
Yep.
Why didn't you show us this earlier? We don't mean to, not aim at the right target.
Oh, Lord.
Bucketheads always miss everything.
That's every movie.
Strong people don't put others down, they lift them up. Darth Vader, philanthropist.
Some people do it right by the neck.
Just hear me out for a minute. What do you think? Kenny didn't like it. I think it's pretty cool.
That would be cool. Ooh.
A little before your time, though, I'd say.
Yeah, Star Trek. My father loves that movie. Especially with little Starsky and Hutch.
Smoking the Bandit.
Yes. The Dukes of Hazzard.
Not funny, Q. Intergalactic Geek Alliance presents us a new movie.
Yes.
People's sexiest man alive is Baby Yoda. How a good guy got it all.
Right?
And we have the new mashup, The Mandolin.
Oh, Lord.
The Mandalorian Mandolin. You may be cool, but never so cool that every time you walk into a room, an epic song begins to play.
Yes.
That's the only movie I've ever seen anybody try and do something like that.
No matter if it's Yoda, Darth Vader, whoever has an epic song just plays.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Yay or nay?
Yay. Definitely yay.
When you fart in a crowded room and say, "Do I smell some popcorn?" So everybody gets to enjoy it. You dirty bastard. My vape was on that Death Star.
That's how I am when I lose my vape all the time.
I don't worry about it anymore. Maybe I got too many of them.
So do I.
Okay, here's another mashup for you. Cocaine Ewok.
Yes. Here I got Cocaine Bear and Cocaine Ewok.
Did you watch that Cocaine Bear movie?
Yes.
We could sub out an Ewok. How about the Empire Strikes Back strip club?
Yes.
This heat is killing me. I'm putting in a transfer request. Oh, crap. That was a dumb idea. Warning, this toy is a choking hazard. I think we did this one already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because here we have Miss McCall from the lovely TV show of my youth, Emergency. I still get jacked off. How many times you watch a movie and you see people smoking, but you never, ever see anybody vaping?
All the damn time.
Bullshit. Not the way it's supposed to be. This is definitely before your time.
Oh,
you ever watch Grizzly Adams?
No, that's definitely way before my time.
My wife wants to bring Ben home and is our new family pet.
Oh, Jesus.
Before the internet, these people could take your order, write down an address, and deliver the pizza to your home in less than 30 minutes, guaranteed. By using a paper map like some sort of mystical land pirate. When you don't know how to do body work, but you're really good at roofing?
Oh, Jesus.
That'll pass inspection for sure. Do we see a pattern developing here? A revolving door, perhaps? Here we have former FDA Commissioner Mark McClellan in charge of regulating Johnson & Johnson. And when he got replaced, guess where he went? To be a board member on the board of directors for Johnson & Johnson.
Ooh.
And good old Scott Gottlieb. Who can forget Scott Gottlieb, former FDA commissioner in charge of regulating Pfizer? And wouldn't you know it, but when he left the FDA, he got on the board of directors for Pfizer.
Yep, the same thing with Stephen Hahn.
Stephen Hahn! He was in charge of regulating Moderna, and now there he is, the venture capital firm behind Moderna. You wonder why public health sucks in the United States? Because it ain't about public health.
Exactly.
All right. Why did we do this? I still don't know.
I don't know. I did that all the damn time.
Can somebody in chat tell me why did we do this? Was it luck? What was it? Why did we always take one out and flip it around?
I think my father did that once before I smoked. And I completely forgot why he did that.
I don't get it, dude. That was the lucky cig, Tammy said. Mallory said. Cheryl said.
Lucky cig.
See, these women know all this shit.
Exactly.
Do you know what this is?
An ashtray?
Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen it in a car?
Yes.
Which car was it? You don't know? Do you have any idea what the make and model was?
I know my Mercury Sable before it got towed had it. My father's Cadillac had it.
I had a Mercury station wagon as a kid that we rode around in and didn't have these in it. Marlboro in the front, Newports in the back. I'm no chainsaw expert, but I think he should put a cigarette out. You know, safety first.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, that's one way to get it chopped off.
Current situation for my wife. She got done cutting the grass.
Ooh.
Gotta dry them off. My bedroom fan that's been running non-stop for the past 3 years. I really need to clean that son of a bitch.
That's me when I used to work at the car dealership.
How you like this place? Mitchell's Wholesale Provadors.
That's a nice way for somebody to kidnap me or something like that. Nope.
Oh, I think you like it better this way. Mitchell's horse. Hey, have you ever had one of these or tried to type on them? That before your time.
I've seen one someplace. I can't remember exactly where I saw it, but I know I saw one in like a school or something like that.
Back in my high school, we had one of them. Remember Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition?
Yes.
Remember when wrestling was all the rage? Everybody watched wrestling.
Yep, they still do.
Hulkmania.
Yeah, because on Sports Illustrated now you still see people like John Cena or Randy Orton and things like that all on the cover.
How about Prince? Was Prince before your time?
A little bit, but I did hear some of his stuff like Purple Rain.
Oh, yeah. No dickheads. We ask you to respect our no dickheads policy. If you're a dickhead, have been known to be a dickhead, or are thinking about being a dickhead today, we ask that you go be a dickhead somewhere else.
Well, that's my job.
Well, that store definitely tells it the way it is.
Well,
Wonder what caused them to create that sign and publish it.
Well, I guess I can't do my job and be a dickhead.
You know, you're a side host. You're supposed to be a dickhead.
That's true.
You got to egg shit on when nothing's happening. Here we have The Skywalkers, a brand new sitcom for TV today. And you thought your family was dysfunctional.
I thought the Brady Bunch was dysfunctional.
Yeah. Meh. Married with Children.
Yes, that was the biggest dysfunctional family ever, and I still love that show.
Mm-hmm. I know why you watch that show, too.
Yep. Because of Al Bundy.
After the show, I'll show you a picture you really love. My best friend cut off my legs. My wife betrayed me, and my kids wanted to destroy me. But you know, at least my grandson likes me.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, that's evil.
The world's safest motorcycle. It will never, ever hit anything.
That's got a point. That's got a valid point to it.
Hey, when you're spooning and, you know, she starts rubbing against your yub nub.
Nope. Yub nub.
Two robots go to a drug dealer's mansion to help steal his wall art and blow up his yacht. Does that sum it up?
Pretty much.
What's for dinner? Wookiee steak. Is it any good? It's a little chewy. The fork is strong with this one.
I get it. The guy can't put the fork down.
That's what I'd look like if I dressed up as one.
Hey, listen, I've seen a couple of guys dress up as Power Rangers looking like that.
Kermit, I wonder what our kids would look like.
Oh, that's evil.
That about sums her up.
That's evil.
Want to cut with these knives? You can cut ham and bread, filet, cheese, steak, not a cheesesteak, cake, cartilage, pizza, vegetables, pies, fish, motherfuckers, you know, not just the men, but the women and children too.
Okay, that was kind of a little across the line.
Mal's Black Digger says, how about In Living Color?
Yes, I like the band Living Color.
Uh-oh. OBS Studios connecting, disconnecting, connecting, disconnecting.
Oh,
Reconnection successful. Hopefully the show didn't end.
Hopefully he didn't.
My flight just landed at the gate. Can you guess which one it is? Her name is Millennium Falcon.
Han, what are you doing here at the airport?
The UK people grew up to Monty Python instead.
Oh, Jesus.
USMC, hoorah! US Army, hoorah! US Navy, hooyah! US Space Force. Aww.
I guess the force was too strong.
The force was definitely too strong with that one. Chewbacca when he was in 5th grade.
That's my aunt's dog right now.
You imagine that dog driving down the road, his head sticking out. My son be chasing after him, trying to get a picture. My wife would be chasing after him because he's a dog, not because it's Chewbacca. Around you fucked, found out you did.
Oh.
I'm not your father. Yum. When you're in your 3rd red light in a row and you try to stay calm. Yeah, if Bick was here, he'd try and take you to the red light district downtown.
He really would, too.
Stormtroopers after a fun day of paintball.
Yeah. After they've hit nothing.
When you're in space, Vietnam, and the trees start talking in teddy bear. Little Ewoks.
I don't even know the Ewok language.
Oh, fuck. They found Waldo.
Ah, shit. He wasn't supposed to know I'm here.
Admit it. At least at one time in your life, you seriously tried to move an object using the Force.
I did all the time. Now all I have to do is
be nice, man.
Now all I have to do is just put my stuff down and they fall down completely without me trying.
Oh, speaking of falling down. Is that AI?
I don't think so.
Gonna need to make some adjustments, but you know, here's my first attempt at making Flandalorian.
That looks
I bet
good.
it tastes better than it looks.
Right.
Every masterpiece has a cheap-ass copy.
Yep.
Prove me wrong. Schrodinger's dilemma. Wait a minute. Red shirt against a Buckethead? Buckethead never hits anything, so how's the red shirt gonna die?
That's what I'm wondering.
Schrodinger's dilemma. Please tell me it's not just me.
Okay, that just blew my mind.
Oh, thank God, that's a
bit.
shipping port. Oh, I thought it was a bunch of... Oh,
that just
man.
blew my mind a little bit, too.
We were talking about chickens earlier, so I don't use the term absolute unit often, but this chicken got a serious problem.
Looks like it's majorly pregnant.
Pregnant? Looks like somebody fed it a firecracker. It blew up.
Or a bottle rocket.
You know, a male guinea pig named Randy broke into a female-only enclosure and impregnated all 100 of them.
Oh, Jesus.
Not being able to teleport is continuing to be a huge inconvenience for me. Can we please move technology along?
Oh, Jesus.
Beam me up, Scotty. Oh. the strawberry I bought last week, staring at me, grabbing another can of soda from the back of the fridge and ignoring it.
Yes.
2 robots? Oh, we already did this one. Another actor's life is destroyed by drugs and alcohol. Oh, fucker must have been vaping.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What do you think?
That
was it the meth pipe? Have you heard about the raccoon that found the meth pipe, Granny's meth pipe?
Yes.
Cops busted him.
No, that guy kind of reminded me of like when they had the video on fucking social media of a rat in the New York subway was running up the stairs with a whole slice of pizza.
Pizza. You're on to D2, the Viking pizza delivery guy.
Ooh.
You can't change the meme? I'm altering the meme. Pray I don't alter you any further. Smudge the cat.
Ooh.
Han Solo season is upon us. Do you have your outfit ready?
Oh.
Stay on target. Stay on target. And put the seat down when you're done. When you're on your 3rd red light in a row and you try to stay calm, the 4 horsemen of flirting in Star Wars. After all these years, you're even more beautiful than ever.
I always knew I was beautiful.
You come from nothing. You are nothing. But not to me. I don't like sand. Such a disappointment.
Sad case.
Taking out for a walk, are you?
Next walking time.
It's a level of stupid I've not seen in such a long time. Was Taco Bell a mistake or my greatest accomplishment? Oh, don't flush. Gonna get the tape measure. Possible world record. Not after you eat Taco Bell, was it? Couldn't have been. I personally love, did you notice the dude wipes?
I did too.
Want to know how you can tell that Star Wars is better than Star Trek? Sure, how? Disney didn't buy Star Trek. Oh, that's a good thing. The epic story of how one family's drama continually screws up an entire galaxy.
Oh, Jesus. That is so true.
Damn it, James. That's the 7th rebel you missed today. Pack your things, you're fired. Without the Empire, I have nothing to live for. Click. I actually hit something? No, I can't. I'm a stormtrooper. I never hit anything.
Oh, shit.
Yeah? If you could just surrender to the Force, that'd be great. You ever see that movie? Office Space?
I've heard of it.
You gotta watch it, dude. You'll love Jennifer Aniston, if nothing else. I believe you have my stapler.
Jennifer Aniston is hot.
Yeah, there's your reason to watch it. Fear, anger, hatred. Finding out your parents sold your Lego Star Wars collection.
Oh, Jesus. Thank God I didn't have any Lego Star Wars.
Oh, you know how much it'd be worth if you had one? That you got as a kid?
There would be a lot.
You go buy yourself a new $300 mod.
Oh, yeah.
Order, sir. What? Sadomasochistic Star Wars.
I don't know. That's sick.
Handed the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy, immediately pointed it at your face.
Nice
Dumbass.
Nice way to poke your eye out.
I never knew my real dad. I never knew my real dad. I never knew my real dad. We never knew our real dads either.
Oh, Jesus.
AT-AT brings Vader a present. I love you.
Do you love your gift?
Is this the Sith life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in the dark side, no escape from the galaxy.
Oof.
I tried. You know my father? Yes, I did. Remarkable man. Highly flammable. Regret. Those were the droids I was looking for.
Oh, Jesus.
Only just begun, the Star Wars memes have.
Yes.
Why did Star Wars episodes 4, 5, 6 come before 1, 2, 3? Because in charge of planning Yoda was.
Oh, Lord.
Only took him 400 years. Take Star Wars quote and replace one of the words with sausage. I am your sausage, Luke.
Sausage!
Inside a Tatooine was warm, is it? Lukewarm. Lukewarm. Why did Star Wars episode? Oh, we already did that one. I liked how the Mandalorian instantly blew his entire paycheck on a new set of armor. You know, just like we do with our mods.
Right.
That's the end of the Star Wars and the dad jokes. I could tell. You are so disappointed.
Star Wars memes were the best.
We're doing good though, dude. We ain't even 2 hours into the show. We already covered the first half of the show.
That's not bad.
Moving along just nicely. So, I guess it's time for a retro vape. A long time ago in a galaxy not so far away, UWELL created the Ironfist mod with a safer switch design.
Well, that's nice.
Look at that. You know why I gotta hear? You got the bulk, right?
Yeah, I got the bulk.
I figured that looked like the Hulk. Doesn't that look like the Hulk?
It does.
The bulk on the Hulk?
I got that same colorway for the bulk too, all black.
Yeah. Dual 18650 mod.
I was just about to ask, that's dual 18650?
You got a switch on the bottom. Turn the shucker on. Beautiful little display right here.
Ooh.
75 watts. 0.16 ohm coil. She's going to work just beautiful.
How many watts does that mod go up to?
We'll check her out. Oh.
That has to be like a 200 watt mod.
200 watts?
Oof.
I don't believe it. Ron Robbins.
That's not bad.
One watt increments. Works good for me. Simple. Comfortable in the hand. And then we got the bulk by Uemir and Fagan. I bet he took off. He's not here anymore. Look at that. What butthole put this on the shelf and never cleaned it out? Oh, that's disgusting. You know, it's kind of a good thing that I got multiple ones of those. So, I guess we're going to have to use the stainless one. The stainless bulk on the Hulk.
Yeah, I never got it.
Look at that.
With the black one.
Not green themed show today, but we do seem to have a lot of green.
I only have maybe 2 or 3 mods that are green.
Good thing I got some vape mail in.
Yes. I will be right back. I need to go use the restroom real quick.
No worries, dude. Oh, look at that. Dr. Coil Cotton. Love Amazon. Double sealed to make sure you get the best, freshest possible, driest ever cotton. So I'm going to take that right out to there. Open up the box that they originally used to sell this stuff in. And refill it. Just like that. Good to go for another 25 tanks. .11 are these dual set of coils that came on this. See how easily they go through there. Oh, that's perfect. Not too shabby for a whopping $11. Delivered by Amazon. A little snip there, little snip there. And then the one quirk about the bulk is, you know, you gotta paint these wicks because there's nothing in there to retain it. So, I'll give her this thing a little clean to thin out the ends a little bit.
Ooh.
You just missed it. I just refilled my cotton container, that's all.
I also went to go grab the Aromamizer from my father.
Nice. Did you ever get the bulk?
Yeah, I did. I have it someplace.
Did you ever have the Arbiter?
No, that I never had.
Oh, that was my all-day vape for the longest time.
I did have the Berserker 2, the Berserker and the Berserker 2 RDTA. I had the Ares 2, and that's just about it.
All right, what are we going to put on this thing? Because I'm running low on a lot of these e-juices.
I don't know. But
all right, well, I'm going to use Frusion Juice Company's Clementine Citrus Mango.
Ooh.
So, put a little e-liquid on there. Just let it soak her up a little. Paint these cotton wicks. We'll help saturate them a little. Give it a little quick pulses. Ooh, vapors, all heaven. So we just paint the wicks down a little bit. Just like that. Get them to fit down in that little slot there. That little slot there. Make sure none of the cotton threads are occluding the ends or covering up the ends. Do the same on the other side.
Oh, that's how I managed to get it out. I think I have some coils. I can slap in this.
Overjuiced it just a little, but that ought to work. Okay.
Why is this one? I have another set of coils someplace else.
Don't cross thread them. There you go. Smooth as butter. Look how big that drip tip is.
That is big. Good Lord.
So we just fill this sucker up. Sucks when you get down to the end of the bottle. Squeeze like crazy. And
yeah, that's bad.
Slowly coming out. All right, that's good enough. Don't want to fill it all the way to the brim. Those coils are super saturated as it is.
I'm going to try to put a build in this Aromamizer.
Cool. We'll take a look at that one next.
Yeah, and I just found out mine was the Aromamizer Lite.
There you go. Here's the bulk on the Hulk, aka UWELL Ironfist. 75 watts. We'll give that a try. Make sure the airflow is open. That would help. Delicious. I'm surprised. That's a little more restrictive than I remember it. Cloud Chucker, hello and welcome. Tim New Zealand, hello and welcome. Delicious. Beautiful, full flavor, full profile right off the bat. Gonna love vaping that all week. Nice. Now, you had asked about the Aromamizer.
Yes.
I got the Aromamizer Plus here, V2. And as you can see, this is the different parts because I ordered this one with the mesh kit. Has the mesh deck on it.
Yeah.
If you order it without the mesh deck, this is actually the V3, but it would have come in a similar box. Here's the Aromamizer V3. And they all had the same basic features. They just switched stuff around. So when you go to build this, you need to take this ring off the bottom. There's your build deck right there. So you just take that and see, mine fell right out. There was no need for anything. But if it's stuck inside there, then all you gotta do is take it and swap it onto your build deck. And then, just give it a pull. It'll separate. And it's also helpful if you need to loosen the top. Take the top cap off. You said yours was stuck.
Yeah, I managed to get that off, which is good.
And then this is a common occurrence, especially once it's been sitting there for a while. So you see how you have the top piece came right off of there?
Yeah.
So what you can do is take a pair of needle nose pliers, put them inside of the juice holes, and then you can loosen that.
Okay.
Just like that. And then you just screw this down onto the top. But it's nice because this thing actually has a juice flow control.
Right.
That actually closes off the tank from there. Great for new builders because you can actually set this thing up to be a dripper. Yes, it's going to have a small tank. Basically just take off this glass and then this screws onto the base and you treat it like a dripper.
Okay.
Then you've got adjustable airflow. Get all the way down to your single holes if you really wanted to. Or multiple rows. And this is the coils that they originally came with. Tricore fuse Claptons, 26x3, wrapped in 38. And these originally ohmed out at 3 ohms a piece. 3 millimeter, no, 0.2 ohms a piece. So when you got them both in there, that'd be a 0.1 install. So might as well get this sucker all set up too while we're here. You know how long it's been since I've had the Steamcrave Aromamizer plus V2 or the V3?
A long time.
Long time. So I love this. This wicking is so simple. Little undertickle action, as Mike Vapes likes to call it. Make sure we don't have any matted cotton in this. That's another good thing about this shoelace cotton, this Dr. Vape shoelace cotton, because I hardly ever get any really big stuff clumps out of there. Some of the El Cheapo cotton that they sell on Amazon,
right?
Nothing but clumps. Let me just clean this sucker out a little bit. Give her a little haircut.
Lower the wattage real quick.
And then we just tuck her down into the slot. And that's the one thing you have to watch about this Aromamizer series. You want to make sure that this isn't shoved full inside here. Make sure everything is going straight down into there. Because if some of this stuff bends in here, it'll wad up. And then you'll get like 2 chucks of a vape on it, and you're going to get a dry hit. And that's because there's too much cotton in here, because the cotton expands. So if that's the case, then you just pull this out and you do a little side trim on it, like Mike Vapes likes to do. To thin it out a little bit more. There you go. You know, you have some days when it's easy as possible to get all this set up, and then others are the days it just doesn't want to work right.
I've had those days.
Go. There's a little tuft sticking out right on the bottom. This side's a little bit better. I probably should have pulled them out a little bit more. Pull them this way to balance that out evenly. See, same with this one. Just 0.5 millimeter this way. And now you've got 1 millimeter sticking out down on this side and 1 millimeter sticking down on this side. Cool. Do the same thing we did before. This could be a little messy. And then the one thing I love to do is I love to leave that on there. And the nice thing about this is you put this on and turn it, it'll drop into place.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah. And then you just spin her out. The cause of the stream dying was the NVIDIA driver crashed. William Dobson. I looked at the logs that OBS keeps. Every time you open it up, it creates a new log file. And it showed the actual cause of it dying. There was a pop-up, but it disappeared as soon as the stream went to end and convert the recording over. Because I have the stream set to MKV format, and then it remuxes it as soon as the stream is over to MP4. So there you go, just like that. Now it's just a matter of dropping this thing in and filling her up. And she takes a lot of e-liquids. I'll probably finish off this bottle. Big, massive tank on this. You putting your banana custard in yours?
I don't know which one I'm putting in yet. I probably have to go get a bottle of something else.
Good enough. Cool. So I think I'm just going to throw that right on the jackaroo. She get a little big for it. Little overhang.
I got another
tall.
I got another flavor for you. It's called butterscotch drizzled ice cream.
Ooh. So here we go, 0.11. 85 watts is what we're going to throw at her. Airflow's honeycomb. We're going to keep 2 rows wide open. Cloud City, dude. Delicious. That right there is the Aromamizer Plus V3 RDTA. Indestructible, lovely, rebuildable. Comes with spare glass. Comes with a cock ring, which is an elastic rubber piece you put on your tank. So if she falls over, it won't crack the glass. I've already broke 2 of them because I didn't put it on. So I'm going to yank it out of this packaging now and get her installed. I don't know why they quit putting these things in tanks. I went into a vape shop. They didn't even, they knew what it was, but they didn't have any. So I had to place an order from Amazon for some silicone rings. There you go. There can be only one Steamcrave. There you go. Kenny, the Vaping Heat is here. Hello and welcome.
The Vaping Heat, how you doing, sir?
There you go. 2 retro vapes.
Bow. Cut this airflow off because I know I hate so much airflow.
Which one tastes better, the bulk or the Steamcrave Aromamizer Plus V3?
I'm about to check this out right now because mine's open out at a 0.42.
The bulk is a 0.10. The Aromamizer Plus V3 is a 0.11.
I gotta say this is better.
There goes my allergies.
Bless you.
Thank you. That means it's time to take an allergy pill.
I forgot how good that butterscotch ice cream was.
Protection is important.
Yes, it very is.
How'd this thing move?
Except for the fact that I accidentally burnt myself on the coil. Wasn't smart.
There you go. That's better. You burnt yourself on the coil, dude. That's not cool.
No, it's because I actually, when I was trying to move the coil and get it right, I forgot that there were batteries in the mod, and I actually clicked the fire button.
I'd say that there's twice as much airflow with the honeycomb wide open on the Steamcrave as there is on the bulk. I honestly thought that the bulk had way more airflow than it actually does. There are literally 3 holes on the bottom for you to get airflow.
I was looking for this, but now I found it. Now I gotta try with all the airflow open. I don't even know how I could manage to get crackle in this, but I did.
Yours is the mini, though, isn't it?
Mine's the light.
The light. That's one I don't have.
Yeah, mine says, mine's restricted to direct lung and mouth to lung. So mine's the Aromamizer Light RTA.
I have the Aromamizer Plus V2 and the V3. The V2's got the mesh kit. I also have the Aromamizer Supreme, which is a smaller version of it. And then I have the Ragnar, which is a bigger version of it. And as I showed you before the show, the Titan.
Oh, yes.
And my favorite to go inside of this, the favorite deck I have, is the Dual Series Mesh. The most saturated vape you will ever get, and it's not just because it's a 40 millimeter tank. Dual series mesh, because how much current you can run through it in that series configuration, you don't get the hot spot you get on a lot of the other tanks that are out there, like the Serpent or the Profile.
Right.
The Profile, you got to wick it, you know, to not get a dry hit. And then once you get it, it will be a very saturated vape. Well, the Steamcrave Titan beats that, even at its best. And this one, that mesh will last you 10 days on average. Whereas anytime I use the Profile, I couldn't get more than 3 days out of that mesh before I'd get a dry hit out of it. Don't revisit that. Don't miss it. The tradition of taste since 1924. Orange knee high. That's a weird orange. I originally said it's like a tangerine, but not really. It's artificial. My tangerine vapes taste better than that. Cloud chuckers for sure today, folks. Uemir bulk on the Ironfist.
And the Aromamizer light on top of the wrinkle manto.
And the Aromamizer V3, the Aromamizer Plus V3 on the Vandy Vape Jackaroo.
I'm surprised I'm getting good flavor on this.
Steamcrave does make really good products. You have to play with the wicking a little bit. You have to play with the coil height to get it just right. But once you do, it's an indestructible tank. Love it. That'll last me the rest of my life. Beautiful, wet, saturated vape.
Yeah, I think I actually got a couple of hot spots in this, so I'll play with that a little bit later.
Yeah, the smaller ones are real pain in the ass to get right. But that's the nice thing about it is, you know, it's something to play with on the weekends.
Oh yeah, I know. I put a 28 gauge NI80, which should be ohming out at a 0.26 a fused Clapton coil.
And you have dual in there, right? There's two coils in it, right?
No, mine's single.
Yours a single coil. 0.26. What wattage are you running it at?
It's supposed to be right now. It's ohming out at a 0.42. I have it set at 35 watts.
0.4. You put a 0.2 in there and got a 0.4.
I know, it's weird.
That doesn't make any sense.
No. So I'm gonna try to play with it a little bit later.
Might have got a bad coil. Sometimes they drop the wrong one in the boxes.
Yeah.
But definitely at a 0.4, you wouldn't run the wattage very high at all.
Yeah, let me try to.
What are you pushing in it? I wouldn't go for more than 40, 45.
Yeah, since it's running only at a 0.42, I'm gonna try to run it at like 20.
Okay.
So I think I'm getting also hot spots and stuff like that. So that's why I want to try to.
You might have to tear it apart, clean it out, and double check it to make sure there's no hot spots on it, because it's easy to get the hot spots on the bottom or the back side of it, and you don't actually see it when you're trying to dry burn it. Sometimes you have to lift your build deck up and look at it as you fire it to see if there's anything on the bottom.
Yeah.
I know people, especially when you first get started doing them, it's actually easier just a tiny bit pull the coils apart so it's a spaced coil. They don't actually touch each ring.
Yeah.
Each turn of the coil.
You see, right now, since I have it at like 20, 21 watts, I'm not getting like that burnt hit taste from like the coil and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's only a single coil, you definitely don't want to go too high in the wattage.
Yeah, because I know
and you're making plenty of clouds. How's the flavor?
Oh, it's pretty good. I'm getting all that butterscotch flavoring and things like that. I'm getting that creamy aspect from it, from the ice cream, which is not that bad at all.
Cool.
Plus, I got the Rec 1 drip tip on it, too.
Kenny's like, I've been replaced for pressing that button, killing the last stream. Wasn't you, Kenny? It was the freaking graphics driver. I spent all day yesterday playing with OBS and playing with the graphics driver, reverting it to the studio version. I wasted the whole day. I was supposed to finish editing the review for that disposable. I showed it to you, but my wife stole it last night. She's like, did you finally finish that? I'm like, yeah, kind of. It's gone. She took it. Anyway, look at this. 2.5 hours into the stream, we've already plowed through the 2 retro vapes and the dad jokes and the news.
And the hand checks.
And the hand checks. Did them all again. Fantastic, dude. That means we're going to have lots of time to make up some recipes.
Yes.
Maybe we can find ourselves a beautiful banana custard.
Yes, banana custards are phenomenal. I would highly recommend them.
Cool. All right. All we need is the bumper. Hot diggity dog diggity. Let's see what Sherlock Holmes comes up with from my flavor stash and see what we can mix up. I got one more vape mail package for us to go over today because it's actually for our mixing. I needed to order some more of the small bottles to do single flavor testing. Because once I get done with these 3 vape reviews and get these products uploaded, we've got the Tauren Vortex 30. We've got the Thunderhead Creations Tauren Max. And we've got the Oxbar Astro Maze. Once they're uploaded, then you're going to see a stream on here for the Flavors Diary, where I go and single flavor test all these 700 flavors I've got out here so that we can actually get a better understanding of what the actual flavors are. Oh, Fagan's like, I heard a rumor the vaping heat wanted $1.2 million to renew his contract. Vaping heat's like, yeah, right. I got a 25 kilogram package Christmas. Next year I want 50. Next year I want 50. Bloke had to carry that thing into his house. I couldn't imagine what it would have been like.
Right.
That's the biggest package I ever sent, with the exception of when my son was stationed in Afghanistan.
Right.
Right after the vape mail ban. Tobacco 21 was enacted by Trump the last time around. And I had to send him a vape care package for Christmas.
Oof.
That box was twice as big, but not heavier than the box Kenny got. Because the punk wanted like chips and snacks. Doritos, Pringles, chocolate bars.
Oh, I think I just got diabetes.
And he kind of got 2 liters of e-liquid.
Oof.
A bunch of stock coil tanks and spare coils for it. Wasn't sure what, he was going to be able to use and what he had available to him, which is nothing. All right, so what are we going to make up today? See if we can find a banana. We got a coconut banana cheesecake. Advocate for
That
Liberty
actually
created
sounds
that. That looks good.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Yum. Enough said. Sold. Sold me. What do we need for this? LA Flavors Banana Cream at 4%. Purellum's Graham Cheesecake at 2%. Super Sweet at half. Toasted Coconut Cheesecake from Purellum at 2.5%. And Yes Sweet Cheesecake from Inawera at 2.5%. That looks good. 11.5% total flavorings. Sold.
As Vaping Fagan wants to know if we can get a Dorito e-liquid. Which I don't know.
That'd be cool, dude. David Lloyd be the one to freaking come up with it. He's got all those lovely flavors. Paprika and garlic and all kinds of stuff.
I know. I think it was Example Box at one year. They had made a bacon flavored e-juice.
Bacon flavor I got. VSO, I ordered bacon. Where is it? There you go, man. VSO
Ooh.
bacon. Reminds me of when I was a kid. And my parents had friends
News
that
just
used
in.
to make their own meat.
According to the Vaping Heat. Now back to your regularly scheduled content
Dude,
of
where's your
Mixin
fake
and Chillin.
message? He didn't type a message.
No, they just put fake news.
So it reminds me, he was just trying to cover you up. He's censoring you.
It's like
but it reminds me when I was a kid, we had friends of ours that from church, their dad used to take and make Hungarian sausage.
Oh.
He would get all the meats and he'd cut it up and he would, he wouldn't actually butcher the animal, but he would process that into Hungarian sausage, blood sausage, and then smoke it. But the other thing that he used to smoke was slabs of bacon. That's what that reminds me of. You get a slab of bacon that's smoked, and then you just carve off a little piece of it and just eat the smoked bacon, not even cook it. That's kind of like what that reminds me of.
There's a friend. Speaking of bacon, there's a friend of the family that takes like the bacon smokes it, sticks it on like rye bread, and all the bacon grease just falls right on, is all soaked up on the bread, and it's so good.
You did it too soon, buddy. You did 2 fake newses too soon. There's a timeout of it. You can only use it like every minute, once a minute. So you have to send it again. But his fake news is that I like musk better than bacon. I don't know. They're pretty close. By itself? I mean, if it was fried bacon, it'd be a different story. But, no. All right, so what are we doing here? We got 30 mils we're going to make of this coconut banana cheesecake. So that's all we're going to do is change the bottle size. And I gotta grab these flavors. LA banana cream. Ooh.
Ooh-wee.
That Steamcrave's a cloud choker. All right, banana cream, check. We got Purellum toasted coconut cheesecake and cheesecake graham.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord, Mallory. Fake news. Kenny likes bathing in musk e-liquid. That just must be smelly and everything for musky e-liquid.
All right, toasted coconut cheesecake and cheesecake graham. And then Inawera, yes, sweet cheesecake.
Yeah, I may have to go dump this and redo the.
Inawera, yes, sweet cheesecake. I knocked my microphone over when I turned the chair around. All right, and I might as well open up this vape and I'll show you that too. Amazon to the rescue. There you go, man.
Ooh.
60 bottles for us to be able to do our single flavor testing. Now, this was like 10, 12 bucks. I did have to wait like 2 weeks for it to be shipped to me. Because it wasn't like delivered by Amazon. They mailed it. But that is well worth it. I would hardly get any if I tried to make them out of 30 ml bottles. Last time I checked, I think it's $28 to get a box of 30 ml bottles. So this is a lot more practical for single flavor testing, especially. And making, flavors that, not really sure if I'm going to like it or not.
Right.
Like, we did the single flavor test of the cannoli Joker flavor. That was a while ago. Damn, that's good. That's vapable right there. I could mix that up as a one shot. I think that's Flavora's Joker. It's a pretty good cannoli profile. There's no chocolate on it. It's just the cream filling that I'm mainly getting. And I'm getting a hint or a wisp of the shell for cannoli. Damn, that's going to be used up in a dripper in the next day or two. I know that for a fact. But I now want to make a big bottle of this cannoli. And maybe add a little Zeppola to it to increase that crust. But, yeah, there's lovely bottles. $30 ml bottle, please. We'll get to scale out. This is not going to be a shake and vape, unfortunately. I know that for a fact. Okay. How do we start this one off? Same way we do all of them. A little bit of secret sauce. Oh, that's a big syringe. Oh, I don't know what I do with the rest of them. So big syringe it is. You only need 1.86 grams of this. You do any DIYing?
No, I wish I was.
It doesn't take much to get you started, dude.
Oh, that I know.
For about 20 bucks, you can get on Amazon and order yourself 500 mil. It's a box that comes with 500 mils of VG and 500 mils of PG. All right. And then, what is your favorite flavor to vape?
Depends on the day and depends on my mood. Like,
I'd make a list. I'd make a list of the flavors you love the most, okay?
Okay.
And then I would go and look at the flavorings and find the one that is rated the highest for your flavor. Like this Joker.
Okay.
If you wanted a cannoli vape, you could order just this Joker flavor, a little 30 ml bottle of it.
Right.
And then make a one shot using just that one flavor.
Ooh.
And you would end up having a cannoli e-liquid. And then obviously you're going to need to get yourself your secret sauce. So you could use, you know, these little sapphire nicks from the vape shop.
Right.
Or you could place an order. Last time I think I placed mine for the salt nick from Delosi Labs. And there's a bunch of other places. You could do a simple Google search. It'll give you, you know, the clear places where you can get this stuff at. But, you know, order yourself like a little 200 ml bottle of secret sauce. That'll last you probably the first year of you mixing yourself. Because you're still going to be buying commercial liquids, right? You're still going to be trying the stuff that other people send you. But get yourself started doing this.
Right.
And then, you know, if it ever gets banned in your area and you can't get it, you can still make it. Because you already learned.
Right.
When you didn't have to. And like I said, you know, this cannoli is a simple single flavor recipe. You're essentially making a one shot. You put this thing in. Off the top of my head, I'm guessing maybe 5% I put in this.
Right.
So you go into the recipe thing, you put, you know, 5% single flavor, and it does all the calculations for you. And then obviously you need to get yourself some bottles to mix it up in. You know, 30 mils, 60 mils, whatever. And you don't even need to buy new ones. You could reuse the bottles you already have. Just clean them out, let them completely dry, and then use them to make your e-liquids.
Yeah,
piece of cake. Because this whole bottle here, for me to make this bottle, I'm spending maybe $2 to make this.
Oof.
That's it. You go into a vape shop, a little 30 ml bottle like this, you're going to be paying, you know, 20, 30, 40 bucks for it.
Yeah.
Depending on where you go.
Yeah, especially even with a credit card for that too. It's still 20, 30, 40 bucks.
Yeah, because you're going to be paying all the taxes on it and stuff, and you're paying for the middleman that gave it to the vape shop and sold it to the vape shop, and then you're paying the manufacturers getting, you know, peanuts on it. But simple thing to learn. But then you can start mixing stuff up once you get, you know, a collection of these. And then just like you go, today I got on the ELR and I said, search, give me recipes using just the flavorings I already have.
Right.
And it lists them all. And you just sit there and fiddle fart around, try it out, try this recipe, try that recipe. If you like it, you can, you know, vape your way through it. If there's something you want to change about it, you have other flavors to add to it.
Right.
You can increase the percentage of the flavorings. You can decrease the percentage if it's too strong. But so here we go. Some LA banana cream. 1.2 grams of that. Holy shit, does that smell good already? Just dropping it into the bottle, I can smell that as a banana cream. Wow. Mmm. Okay. Pure Elm's cheesecake graham. Wow, does that smell like a beautiful, rich cheesecake?
Ooh.
Wow. Like you walked into a bakery and they just pulled this out of the oven.
Yes.
Point 0.6. Piece cake. And you don't need a big, massive, fancy scale like this. You can get on Amazon for $10. Buy a little jeweler scale, as long as it's accurate to the 100th of a gram. That's all you need. Probably costs you less than $30 to get started DIYing. Toasted coconut cheesecake from Pure Elm. Well, I get the toasted coconut. The cheesecake is definitely not as pungent as the last one, the cheesecake graham. This is more like a toasted coconut cream pie. It's kind of what this smells like. 0.75. And the piece de resistance, Yes Sweet Cheesecake by Inawera. I've heard so many people say this is one of the best cheesecakes out there. It smells like popcorn. It's weird. 0.75 of this. Cool. Some Pure Elm Super Sweet. 0.15. Perfect. I know I went over. It's okay. Okay. Some PG, because that's only 11.5% flavoring, so we need to add 12.5% of this. It's 3.89. Wow. Just dropping this into there is releasing all kinds of flavor compounds out of there. That already smells like a banana cheesecake. Banana, cream, cheesecake, a hint of graham crust. Oh, Dude. $26.50 for our VG, and this is done. I wonder if it's as good as the banana liquid that you got.
I don't know, but I re-scripted the coil, and now I'm getting the full butterscotch
The full flavor.
Yeah. And I just bumped this up to 35 watts, and I'm still getting the full flavor from it.
Done.
Ooh.
Job done. Just needs a label. A couple days. Okay, knuckle test. Why is it this camera just doesn't want to stay where it's at? Dude. Neither is my microphone. Whoa, dude.
Good?
It still has like a really thin taste to it. It's probably going to take, like I said, at least 4 or 5 days for that cheesecake to come through, for all those cheesecakes to blend. There's 3 of them in there. You got the cheesecake graham, you've got the toasted coconut cheesecake, and you got Yes Sweet cheesecake from Inawera. For those to fully blend and blossom, probably take us 5 days. This is going to be really good. Well, I'll taste that on Tuesday for the regular vlog. Sweet. All right. Need to make a label for it. You said other people, like the other people from our show, send you stuff that they make.
Yeah, Mr. Devin Jeffrey was supposed to send me stuff. Brett Whitney, who was under Tammy Whitney before, has sent me some stuff to try out. He made me like a Monster Energy drink flavor. That was pretty good. He sent me an apple pie, a funnel cake, and those were. Oh, and he also sent me I think an apple cinnamon roll, which was also pretty good. But I mainly stick with Mr. Stevie Marquez.
So we are episode, 418A. Born on date, May 8th. 8th of May. Kai, print. Get rid of the born on date. There you go. That looks better. The print would have been so small, I would have needed a magnifying glass to read it. Cool. And you don't need no fancy label maker like I got if you get started doing this. You can take a Sharpie and just write on the bottle. There you go.
Ooh, okay.
Coconut Banana Cheesecake, episode 418A. Malls in Pennsylvania, 100 milliliter go for about $28. For secret sauce? My very first order was from My Freedom Smokes. I ordered from them a 250 ml bottle of Nick. And I think that's about what that was costing back in the day. Like $28 plus shipping for 250 mils. And then when the panic came in and they were talking about taxing, you know, the nicotine and stuff like that, I ended up ordering a liter from them.
Right.
It was $95 for a liter bottle of it.
Oh, Jesus.
That's nothing, dude. That liter lasted me a year and a half of DIY mixing for both myself and my wife. Because it was 100 milligram per milliliter.
Right.
And, you know, you make up 120 mils of this, you're only putting in like 2 or 3 mils.
Right.
So, and you saw, I mean, I only put like one in this one. 30 mil bottle.
Yeah, that ain't bad then.
No. You could make hundreds of bottles for $100. Keep it 100 blue. Right there. Yeah, I picked this up at the vape shop in Ohio last time we were there for Easter. That cost me, I think, $13. So... definitely getting that banana forefront. And then as the saliva washes and dilutes it on my tongue, I do kind of get the cheesecake and the graham crust. It is definitely sweet. Just wondering what it's going to vape like. Darren D, ours is 24. Depends on where you're at and how much state tax they're adding to it. In Ohio, 10 cents per milliliter if it's already got the nicotine in it.
Yeah.
So you're paying an extra $10 a bottle for a 100 ml bottle. $12 for a 120 ml bottle of just tax on top of what it costs for them to sell it to you. Cool. What else are we going to mix up? Got to mix up something else.
I'm trying to think of something else.
Well, let's take a look at the list again. What else can we make? That was the first one that popped in my head. And I knew it was going to be good. Advocate for Liberty makes a bunch of good stuff. David Lloyd, he just slaps shit together and bam, there you go. But, you know, most of the time when I mix this stuff up, I like it. So we have Graham Cracker Clear from TPA, Key Lime Pie, both of those at 8%. That's going to be in your face shake and vape. New York Cheesecake from Capella at 3%, Super Sweet at 3%. Holy super sweet.
Yes.
And Innoware's Yes Sweet Cheesecake at 8%. 30% total flavoring. This would be great in a pod system. But not for my direct-to-lung cloud chuckers. Nor my drippers. That would have been good for my wife in her free Max pod. Or in these little Kumi hose. Too much for me. What else we got? Lady Liberty made Killer Bunny. Wonder what that tastes like. What do you think, dude?
Killer Bunny. That sounds actually pretty good.
So this is Killer Bunny, banana cream, same one we just used at 4%. VSO banana raw at 2%. SSA's premium raspberry at 1% super sweet, and 1% zesty lemon. Sold. Sold. Make that 2. We'll do another 30 mils of that. Good for my dripper reviews. Okay, so we already got the banana cream. VSO's banana raw. That's right there. That's easy to grab. SSA's premium raspberry. And Capella Zesty Lemon. Ooh, that's a nice lemon. Awesome. Well, the original recipe is 25 mils, so we're going to adapt this, make it a 30.
Oof.
That's the only thing we're going to touch about it. Save. Job done. Zoom in. There's our recipe.
Okay. 5% nicotine dose.
I got 6 milligram.
Okay.
And the thing is, when you're testing recipes and you're not sure about them, you know, you don't really need to do the same amount you would normally vape. You could cut that down to 3. You can cut it down to 1.5 if you really wanted to. I wouldn't cut it out altogether because it does change the flavor profile. Okay, secret sauce is in. Now it's time to mix her up. 1.8, close enough to 1.86. Won't notice that at all. Start off with our banana cream from LA Flavors. Smells wonderful. 1.2. Really takes no time to do this. Banana cream. Forefront, just dropping it into the bottle. I can clearly smell that already. VSO's banana raw. 0.6 of this. Very alcohol or ethanol forefront, but I do get banana on the nose. 0.6. These bottles are a little thin. It doesn't take very much to get the liquid out of it. And unfortunately, I got some on the scale after I got it to where I wanted it. Now it's a banana. Clean that off. Okay. Next, we have our premium raspberry from SSA. And if you're not sure if you're going to like the flavors, you can always buy little tiny bottles like this. This is only like $1.50, dude.
Oof.
For a little 10 ml bottle.
Right.
Just to get an idea of the flavor. Are you going to like it, not like it? And, you know, what are we putting in this one? 0.3? 0.3 mils? Ain't hardly nothing.
That's always my issue. I'm always debating on what to try, and things like that.
And Bull City Flavors, Hunky V will get you, I think 7% is the current amount of the discount on there. And you're still eligible for the free shipping at like $25. Or 5% discount, whatever. The point is, they also have clearance stuff that's 50% off.
Ooh, that's not bad.
So if you look on their clearance section, you see some flavors that might interest you. It's peanuts for you to pick them up and, you know, just to try them out. You don't need to get a big bottle. You can just get little 10 ml tasters. Zesty Lemon. Capella. 0.3 of this as well. Holy lemon. You don't get the whole sour characteristics of that lemon, but you do get the lemon essence of it, like the lemon oil zest, a little hint of the rind. No pledgy-likeness to it at all. Ah, it's nice. Nice. All right. Then all we got left is our VG and our PG, and that recipe's going to be done.
Something in the atmosphere.
4.6. We'll give it a little swirl because these are all PG-based ingredients so far. Element won't ship to New York anymore. They must have got a notification. New York sucks.
They really do.
They're too worried about their tobacco taxes. That smells really good. All right. That's done. 26.5 for our BG, and we got another bottle completed. This definitely pays to do this kind of stuff, especially if you got more than one person in the house.
Right. And I completely agree.
Like when my wife and myself were vaping, she's all on disposables now, but back then it was like, it was a no-brainer, dude. 40% wholesale price tax if we buy it here. If we buy it there in Ohio, it's 10 cents per milliliter tax on top of it. So, I mean, you place a $100 order for e-liquid and you're only getting about 6 or 8 bottles of liquid.
Right.
For 2 people, that's not even a whole month. Whereas when I spend $100 on flavoring, I mean, I buy the VG by the gallon.
Right.
$26 on Amazon, shipped to my house, dropped off next day, 2 days, whatever. That gallon, and then, I buy a liter of PG and we're good to go. Eventually, people aren't going to have a choice in the matter if things don't change.
They're not.
And despite having a fancy orbital stir, vibrator, mixer, a shake is still the best way to do it.
I will be right back.
No worries. Except when I push the wrong buttons. Why is it moving? We don't have no earthquakes here. All right. Killer Bunny. Print. Done. Malice Black Digger's like, but they killed me with the taxes and the shipping. Yeah, I'd really get jacked off about that $8 adult signature fee, right? Place an order from Element. They have to send it to comply with the vape mail ban. They have to send it via courier. First off, they went from, sending it priority mail to courier service. And that courier service, because of the network that they had to build in order for them to even have a delivery method that they could use legally, takes like 2, 3, 4 weeks sometimes to get packages delivered to my house from Element. And sometimes, it'll just sit for days in Vegas or wherever their distribution hubs are. If they don't have enough to move it to the next hop, it just sits there. And then the best part is courier knocks on my door, or doesn't even knock on the door, just drops the package off at like 10 o'clock at night. And here was my adult signature fee used for. And, I'm old enough, it's not an issue. But OBS disconnecting again. Not sure what's going on with YouTube there. There you go. Killer Bunny. Completed. I like placing orders from the Mafia. They get that stuff there quick.
Well, looks like my Aromamizer won't unscrew. Because the positive post just came out.
Oh, the screw.
Yeah, but...
Grub screw.
Yeah. Oh, the next is actually... Not the grub screw, but the little pin at the bottom.
All right, so this Killer Bunny is really pungent on the raspberry. I'd get that. Despite having 2 different bananas in there, I'm not really getting a banana taste. Kind of get it in the nose a little bit.
Right.
I don't know. I'll have to see in the week what this settles into. I totally get why a lot of these recipes have creams added to them.
Right.
Because having just banana and raspberry and lemon, it's missing something. It's a very thin experience.
Right.
I'm not sure if that's going to translate into vape as the same, but on the knuckle test, I don't care how good somebody sings. How many songs can you listen to somebody sing by themselves?
Not
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to have, a duet or a trio of people singing if it's a cappella. If it's not a cappella, you still have to have background players, background instruments playing. It's the same with your liquids. There's nothing wrong with a simple flavor profile, but that simple flavor profile can't just be one singular flavor. Like, you can't just vape a grape. At least that's the way it is when I'm making them. You have to have multiple grape flavors to give a broad palate to a grape. Otherwise, it's definitely identified as an artificial grape flavor, and that's it. Now, you can plaster it with a bunch of sweetener to make it taste like a grape soda.
Oh, and I completely 100% agree with you on that.
You can do the same thing with orange. There's nothing wrong with, like a perfect example is Vape Train Australia, Orange Tang. You put that in at 8%, add 1.5% of sweetener to it, super sweet or extra sweet, and you got an orange crush soda vape.
Right.
Piece cake. E-Cig 1's been Malice's best experience so far. It's tough because you're not allowed to advertise the different places that sell it, so you got to rely on what Google searches give you. I really wish that they would undo the vape mail ban and let Amazon sell vape stuff. Imagine that. Bogan came out with a new mech mod or a new dripper or something. You could get on Amazon, have it at your house the next day.
Oof. Wait, it's really on Amazon right then and there?
In the UK, you can order from Amazon and get a vape stuff.
Oh, Jesus. So
You just can't do it here in the States because of the vape mail ban. Do they want people to quit smoking or don't they? That's what it boils down to.
No, they claim they do, but I just don't believe the fact that they actually want us to quit smoking.
Your typical politician says one thing, does the opposite.
Exactly.
Cool. So we got 2 recipes brewing for next week. And we're only 3 hours and 15 minutes into the show. Dude, you ain't talking enough, I think. You're not distracting me enough from what I'm doing.
Sorry.
You're dropping, you're distracting yourself.
Yeah,
dropping grub screws and...
Yeah, because the Aromamizer fell apart. Okay, enough. Let me put this down. I'll fix this later.
All right, so tell everybody about your show. You do a show on Fridays.
Yeah,
I was on it already. Tell everybody what's your show about.
So I do this show every Friday at 2 o'clock where I have like Brian Ferguson on and everything. It's just something, to get vapors together and things like that. And we discuss things as far as what's going on in the community and what could be done, what could be better. Just trying to unite everybody. Like we had, like Hunky said, we had him on the show. I already had Vaping Vic on. I had Mark on. I had the Bearded Vape God on. Who else did I was supposed to have Josh Vapes on. But like I said, we just bring everybody together and we discuss like different things and things like that. We even discuss like new mods that came out, and we discuss like different types of reviews and things like that. Like I think I mentioned this past Friday I was supposed to review my Ether Boro, which should be out soon. I just have to do the review for that shortly after today. Other than that, it's a great show where we just talk, BS as friends would, and that's about it.
Just a nice little hangout for a bunch of vapors.
Yeah. And that's
cool.
Exactly what it is.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got to get started somewhere. And like I told you before, dude, you just got to follow your passion, whatever your passions are. If it's drippers, then do dripper reviews. If it's tanks, if it's rebuildables, if it's a little bit of everything, do a little bit of everything.
Yes. And don't get me wrong. Do I like doing the show? Yes. you know, but at the same time, you know, as you and I were discussing it earlier before the show even started, Rumble Studios is just trying to schedule the show for Friday on Rumble Studios. It's just a pain because it only does like the first 2 days. Let's say, for example, if it's on a Sunday, it'll only show Sunday, Monday. It won't show Sunday to Friday or Sunday to Saturday. It'll just show Sunday to Monday, then Monday to Tuesday, then Tuesday to Wednesday, and that's just about it. It won't do anything else but that. So I have to wait till like Thursday just to schedule for the Friday show and things like that. It's just a giant hassle with that.
Well, you're only doing one platform. Try imagine having the same struggles with 4 platforms. Now, Twitch is the easiest because I've got my side computer set up in OBS, and that one is connected directly to Twitch. So I can fill in the title, the go live notification, and the tags, and then pick an actual thumbnail for it, which is podcast for myself. And I just click done, and it automatically has set it up so the next time it connects, it's already ready to go.
That's not
YouTube,
bad.
You have to schedule it ahead of time. You have to fill in your title, your description. You have to click a whole bunch of check boxes on, you know, is there any fake AI content in it? There's age appropriate stuff. Do you want to restrict it? And there's a whole hassle there. But you could schedule up a routine if you're doing it every single week. And every single week there'll be a new one. As soon as you finish the last one, your next one's already scheduled, ready to go.
Yeah, that's only because of the fact that they're trying to supposedly keep the kids safe, which, you know, I don't believe from a hole in the wall, being the fact that, you know, kids are just going to do whatever they want, regardless of.
And when they close the shops down, they're not actually stopping the kids from getting it because they're not buying it in the shops. Majority of them are getting it on the black market from friends and other people that don't care about the law. So it doesn't matter what laws you impose on it. The only people that those laws actually affect are the adults.
Exactly.
And then Rumble, you know, I got to do the same thing I do on YouTube, I do on Rumble. It's a simpler thing, less check boxes and stuff, but I still have to fill out the same thing. So fortunately, when I do a show on 4 platforms, most of it is copied and pasted. There's copied and pasted for X, for Twitter, copy and pasted for Rumble, and then I originally fill out the YouTube thing and just put it into a Word document and then just copy and paste it for the other platforms. But that's why last Tuesday, when the show quit unexpectedly, I wasn't going to try and go back live again because I'd legit have to go to 3 platforms to go live on all 3 again. I could have just gone live on YouTube, but being that it was a driver error that caused the thing to go bad, there was no point in me doing it without changing the driver.
Right.
Their latest game driver obviously caused a failure, and it was going to happen again. Whether it was going to be within the first hour or whether it takes 2 or 3 hours for it to happen, I have no clue, but I couldn't take the chance of it. That's why we're doing this test stream today. Completely different driver. I simplified OBS settings and got a bunch of scenes that I weren't using anymore. Deleted all of them, updated 2 of the plugins, and here we are again.
Exactly.
So what do you do when you're not on YouTube, dude?
Oh no.
You work anywhere?
I was working for the Department of Education. However, I left there to take care of my father full time and everything. So that's what I'm doing, taking care of him. I just recently, and I don't want to put this publicly on YouTube, but you know,
don't need to.
I was gonna do this on my personal channel and everything, but I just recently lost my mother and everything.
Oh, dude, I'm so sorry.
And she passed away February 28th, and I didn't find out till March 1st.
That's so hard.
She passed away in a hit-and-run accident. She was walking, and next thing you know, a guy struck her and she passed away.
I still remember my dad passing away, and I was just graduating high school, getting ready to go to boot camp, planning to go to boot camp that summer. and he was diagnosed with cancer. He was complaining for the longest time about his knees hurting him, right? It was to the point where he was walking around with a cane, and it takes forever to get to see a doctor. And then once you see a doctor, they got to send you to a specialist, and then they got to do a bunch of tests. And every doctor wants you to do more tests and more exams. And it took them 6 months from the time he first complained about his knees hurting until he got to somebody that says, dude, we found cancer. So they did a biopsy, they found cancer, and they're like, the cancer in your knee didn't start in your knee. It started somewhere else. So they did a full body scan on him, and it came to find out that it started in his ribs, in his lungs. And by the time they had diagnosed him, it already metastasized or spread to the rest of his body.
Right.
So despite that, you know, they talked him into being admitted to the hospital, get started with radiation and chemo.
Right.
And they marked him up. They gave him, you know, his first markings for radiation. And it was, I think, his second or third day in hospital. He went to go take a shower, and he slipped and fell in the shower because he had passed out.
Right.
Because a piece of the cancerous tissue had broke free and ended up killing him. It was a pulmonary embolism that actually took him down.
Yeah.
So I know the feeling of loss of your parents. It's a hard thing to deal with, and it's not something that actually ends up completely ever going away. You know, it's a part of you that's always going to be missing.
Yeah, and, you know, that's why everybody, you know, that I know, like Brett, Cheryl Demers and things like that, even Six Pack Kid when he's in chat and things like that, they're always telling me, you know, take care of the old man. You know, he's still going to be there.
What you got left.
Yeah. You know, and as, you know, most of the people I speak to, including, you know, everybody else, always tells me, I don't know how much time I have left with my father before eventually, you know, the same thing happens to him. So that's why I'm trying to take care of him as much as I can before that time ever comes.
That's the same thing with my mom. You know, she's not a spring chicken anymore either, but she insists on living her life and, you know, maintaining her lifestyle that she has. And if that means living her alone by herself in a big, massive house, then so be it.
Right.
My brother and sister, you know, if they had their way, they would have put her in her home a long time ago. And I'm like, no, man, that's not who you are. That's going to kill you. That's going to kill your spirit. So that's why, you know, come holidays, at the very least on the holidays, we go back and visit her and trying to help her out for a day or two, you know, not just stay the day. It's a rarity that happens. Most of the time we stay a weekend or whatnot and take care of things that she's not able to do anymore, you know, cutting her hedges and trimming trees in her backyard and, you know, fixing like hot water heaters and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. That's what my father, whenever him and I go out, I'll run into like certain stores for him, things like that. Like CVS to go get his medication, you know, the bagel store if he needs like coffee creamer and things like that. I'll do all like the basic things for him and everything, just, you know, just to help him out and things like that. He's even told, you know, friends like, listen, like he's done a good job taking care of me and things like that. So I was like, you know what? I need to get paid to take care of you. And he laughed about it. He's like, yeah, I know. And he's like, you've done a wonderful job doing it and everything else. And he's like, I gotta thank you for, you know, taking care of me and everything. And then there was one moment where there was an incident with him, and he just flat out apologized. I was like, listen, no need to apologize. It's not your fault. You know, things happen. You know, that's the story of life. You know.
And it's an eventuality all of us eventually are going to have to face. Our parents are going to get to the point where it's time for us to take up the responsibility of taking care of them the way that they took care of us when we were youngins.
Right.
So, and if your dad's got any disabilities that, you know, prevents him from being able to take care of himself, other than, you know, typical old age things, you can actually get Medicare to, you know, give you a pay for the hours that you have to spend to take care of them.
Right, and that's what I was looking into. I was looking into like getting a home health healthcare job, just just to take care of them and things like that.
Darren even put it in there. Search pay as a caregiver, because there's actually organizations that'll help you implement that policy, where you can, as a family member, be employed by somebody who actually bills for taking care of your dad.
Right, but some of these organizations, they need to.
They will take a big chunk of it, yeah.
Right, but they also have to work with his Medicare and Medicaid plan as well, and there's only very few selections for that.
Yes.
So that's what
insurance in the United States sucks, dude. I really wish it was, more like the UK, where you have a formal structure where the government takes care of and handles it all, because it's a lot easier for you to take up the role of his caregiver in the UK than it's going to be for you to do that here in the States.
Right, and that's why I've been looking, things like that. I'm trying to, you know how these businesses are, they suck.
Dude, I was a paramedic for almost 2 decades, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen it firsthand.
Some of these places don't even want to pick up their phones just to take a phone call.
The only time it actually gets easy for family members to take care of their elderly parents is once the parents go on hospice care.
Yep. That's the only time that these businesses want to care, is when somebody's on hospice.
Yeah. Nick says that I'm going through it now, taking care of an elderly patient who's in the beginning stages of dementia and Alzheimer's. I'll be there one day.
I'm 28. I'll certainly be there when I hit 15, 60 years old.
Yeah. It's a joy that all of us are going to have to deal with at some point in time. And, that's the one thing on looking back at it now. It's easy for me to say this, but it wasn't for the longest time to even think about admitting it, was the fact that, I'm grateful that my dad only was in the hospital for 3 days. When he had the diagnosis of cancer that would metastasize and spread to his whole body, there was no hope in radiation and chemo. All that was going to do is make his last days miserable.
Right.
Going to be puking and shitting all over the place and needing more people to take care of him and more services. And I see the statistics now, and, I came to realize a long time ago why we spend the majority of our healthcare expenses for our entire lives the last days, weeks, and months that we're alive.
Oh, I completely
It's like they milk you dry.
They do. It's the same thing with these hospitals and rehabilitation centers too. They just milk you dry for your insurance. They really don't care.
I've legit seen people that were staying in extended care facilities because they didn't have family that could take care of them, and they just needed, 3 basic meals a day, somebody to do their laundry, somebody to give them their medications, and make sure they take it every single day. They legit sign everything that they own over to them so that they can live in this home until they get sick enough to move to a nursing home or die in a hospital. And it sickens me to think about the fact that, people are profiting from the misery and suffering of others.
Yep.
That's not a place where profit belongs.
Speaking of my father, the incident that happened with him was they were classifying with what he had as a stroke. The rehab place was just milking the insurance and just lying. And I just blew up on them. I said, listen, you guys need to do your jobs, or at least don't take care of patients. And that's when they got a letter from his insurance. It was like, yep, you're free to go Saturday. And they just released them. But I know
people that have legit been in extended care facilities who have decided, you know what? We're not signing our everything over we own. We're going to go on continuous cruises.
Right.
So they were healthy enough to be able to at least, go to the thing and have a meal and take care of themselves and take their own medications like they're supposed to. But it was cheaper for them to live on a cruise ship and go from cruise ship to cruise ship to cruise ship continuously, one after the other, maybe a hotel stay overnight between cruises, than it was for them to stay in the extended care facility.
Oh, for sure, because the fact that once that insurance went, became done, that's when they had to pay out of pocket for that, and
Yep.
that's what cost way more. Hospital bills and rehabilitation bills are what nowadays, I want to say, over hundreds of thousands of dollars still to this day, if not way more than that. And on top of that, they want to sit there and screw up the patients even more than when they already went in.
Yeah.
And that's
Nick says that once I started, I moved 1,800 miles to take care of them. So everything I had, I packed up into a moving van and did what I had to do. Did my duty as a human being to taking care for the people that raised me and took care of me.
Yeah. I've been living with my father since the age of 7. I've been living with him for 21 years. And that's just here in New York alone. And I thank God every day for him. And do I have my moments with him? Yes, as any normal son would with their father.
Oh, sure.
With fights.
I know my mom's got dementia, and a lot of the times hers is because she had a stroke. And it's frustrating for her when she says something and she knows it's not what she wanted to say and she knows it's not what she means. And then to try and stay calm and let her work her way through her words until she finally finds what she actually wanted to say.
Right. There are times when my father gets like that, and then when I said things that he said, it's like, that's not what I meant, and then he would have to explain it till understand what he actually meant. But other than that, he's home right now. He was just watching comedy.
Yeah, I saw he was chatting in earlier.
Yeah, but now
it is a tough thing, and it's a hard pill for all of us to swallow. And the fact is, the majority of the people out there will eventually have to face this and deal with it. The people that have more money than they know what to do with, they're the ones that are going to take their parents and put them in some home somewhere. Some of them are going to come and visit them regularly. Some of them are going to put them in there and forget about them.
Right.
Until they get the phone call that says, "Oh, I'm sorry, you lost your parents."
Right.
It's not like that in other countries.
Right.
You go to Japan, it's the complete opposite.
Oh yeah. Japan, they're there 24/7 with the parents. It's the same thing with
And it's
China.
not even looked at as an expectation. It's looked at as a responsibility that is normal and expected in society over there.
Right. It's the same thing, as we were discussing earlier when it came to that guy talking about smoking cigarettes. It's the same thing if somebody passed away from smoking too many cigarettes and things like that and getting lung cancer from that. Yeah, you can put somebody in the hospital for having lung cancer just to do chemo radiation for that, just to get rid of it. But at the end of the day, you already know the outcome of what's going to happen if the person doesn't quit said smoking, things like that.
But the people have the ability to make their own choices for themselves. And the perfect example is my brother-in-law. He will never quit smoking. He's been broke. He's been in jail numerous times. He's been so piss poor so many times that, he was legit, couch hopping amongst his friends and relations and people that he just knew. And he's just one of those people that I don't care how much logic or facts you tell them or show them. He is die hard and will always smoke. He will die with a cigarette in his mouth.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen to my father. But then once his pulmonologist, I think I forgot what doctor handles the COPD and stuff like that. They told him, like, listen, if you don't stop smoking and go to vaping or whatever, there's a chance you're gonna die. So that's when I got him I contacted somebody from 5 Ponds. They sent my father like two boxes of 10 mil 5 Ponds bottles and a Me Pod.
Nice.
So he got that and that's actually how I got him to quit smoking into vaping. Plus, he had gotten the Orion 2. So, but he uses the Orion 2 religiously.
Good.
And he just got the limited edition one too, but he refuses to let me put the RBA on for him. He refuses.
Aw. Listen, you know, we all have our duties and our responsibilities. We make the best of the situations that we have and the options we have in front of us. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but one that we will work our way through. And it's the same battle, you know, like with this whole battle with vaping, trying to keep it legal, trying to keep it available for everybody that's out there.
Right.
They can do what they want as far as, you know, tobacco control, trying to limit it and tax the shit out of it and stuff, but they cannot stop people from making their own choices. And some people aren't going to ever switch away from smoking cigarettes. Other people are going to find vaping, they're going to love it. Other people, it's not going to be enough for them. Some people would rather have the pouches or the, you know, the pills. Everybody in today's society is just like, oh, give me a pill. Pill fixes anything. I'd rather just take a pill every day than having to actually change my life to make it better.
Right. I mean, that's part of the reason why I think Villabox, you know, the company kind of went out of business and everything, because I think there was a law passed in where they were, Utah, and they said they had to take a break and everything. And next thing you know,
well, if they're based in Utah, the Utah blocked vape sales in the state. They could obviously sell it outside the state, but technically if you're selling it outside the state, you fall under the PMTA requirements. It's a whole nother battle.
Right, which is why they claimed that they had to take a break, and
they would have an easier time selling it out of country to the UK, to Europe.
But you know, I think I was talking to Cheryl Demers about this too. I was like, you know, even if the whole company of box moved to, like, let's say Virginia or Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, where you are, you know, it would have been easier for them to just say, okay, we're going to move, and still been able to sell without having to worry about the PMCA and things like that.
Yeah. That's why a lot of the companies are moving to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though that they have their own legal battles and stuff like that, and even though that they're like really hard on cannabis and would never consider legalizing cannabis like they are considering doing that here in Pennsylvania, they could still chase that whole idea of staying in business.
Yep.
But at some point, you just get beat down by doing the legislation, the advocacy, and year after year after year, you keep losing little bits here and there, and it's just a death by 1,000 cuts.
Right. And on top of that, COVID hasn't helped at all.
No. And the volley scare didn't help at all, and vape mail ban didn't help at all.
Especially, you know, where they started when Trump's first run in presidency, you know, and I don't mean to talk politics and stuff like that. You know, even especially, you know, Trump's first run in office, where they officially started talking, oh, well, these kids are ending up in hospitals because of vitamin E acetate. And then that's when they said, oh, well, it's because of vaping nicotine or this or that. And I'm sitting there telling people, show the real facts where it was because of vaping nicotine. You know, it's like, unless you could find proof of that, you can't say it was because of nicotine.
Did you watch his meeting, the roundtable meeting he had with everybody on 9/11?
I missed it.
You can go back and rewatch it. There's plenty of places that have it, you know, on YouTube of the actual meeting he had. But he tried to oversimplify everything. Okay, as a businessman, that's kind of what you do. You oversimplify it, then you actually give credence and creed to the actual nuances that you need to implement to actually move forward. But he himself identified the fact that if you just ban this stuff, you're going to grow and transfer everything to the black market where you lose all control over it.
Exactly.
So he knew that you can't totally ban it. You needed to do something. And that's why his simple solution was Tobacco 21. Because most of the people in high school were getting it from the people that are graduating or just graduated that are legal age people at that time. So he's like, if we create a separation between high school and the age when they can buy this, they're going to have to be middlemen that are completely out of that social circle to make an impact without killing it completely.
Right. It's ironic because the fact that when he was running for presidency this time around, he was sitting there saying how he's gonna save vaping and things like that, which I highly doubt. Even Jay,
I honestly think he's done more to save vaping than anybody else ever has, because I don't think people realize how much propaganda was being put out by the CDC and by the FDA. Right. They legit have contracts that they were issuing to marketing agencies to push these scare stories that were out there. And as soon as Trump got into office and he shut down the communications office and signed an executive order banning them from talking to the public until they get a grasp of the agency, all of those scare stories just disappeared.
Right.
And it wasn't until just this past week that we noticed, and I talked about it on the vlog, those 18 identical stories that it's obvious somebody paid all these news agencies to publish at the same time.
Right, man. And at the same time, he has that whoever the guy is for the he put in charge for the health thing. I forgot the guy's name.
Robert Kennedy for the HHS, and now he's got Cali Means. It's going to be the Surgeon General.
Yeah, you already know he's probably against all the whole vaping thing. So you already know.
I don't think so. Kennedy's a nicotine user. He uses pouches.
I didn't even know he used pouches.
I watched his confirmation hearing, and you could see him slipping the pouch in and, pitching the old pouch after a while.
That I didn't know. I thought he,
yes.
I thought he was just smoking cigarettes and everything.
No. Kennedy's a health nut.
Yeah,
for somebody as old as he is to be as fit as he is, when he was trying to run for president, he was showing off, like he did the same thing that the Russian president does, shows off him doing exercises and showing off his physique and how he's still got a six-pack at his age and routine exercising and eating healthy. And so Make America Healthy is definitely going to be moving towards the right direction. But is it going to be able to encompass vaping and tobacco harm reduction? I think we're going to move that direction, but I don't think it's going to be as much as any of us truly want to have happen.
Right. And, with how I feel about the whole vape ban thing, they should, like what we were talking about earlier, I feel like they should remove the ban, but at least, say, oh, well, don't kids under the age of 21 don't buy it. Don't have your friends that are like 21 and older try to buy stuff for you and things like that. And at least have these shops ask the question of, hey, are you buying this for somebody? And if they find out, at least be like, yo, listen, I can't sell this to you. Don't do this, don't do that. Oh, da 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 da.
Hey, Bastard's right. He's ultimately a politician, just like all of the other ones.
Exactly. And like you said, you can't trust him.
Full of promises, not so full on results.
Yep.
And part of that is politics in general, because you do need to get a consensus from the politicians, and some of them only give you the consensus because you